The order, the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners, October 28th, 2025, regular meeting. Please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. Please stand while previous county commissioner Buster McCoy does the invocation, followed by the pledge.
If y'all would just bow with me as I attempt to lead us to the throne. Father, we just come to you at this time, thanking you for the much that you do. Lord, thanking you for those things you're even going to do for us in the future. And Lord, as we meet here and assemble to do the county's business, we just ask that you would just empower each here that's in the decision-making process, that good wisdom that only comes from above. And Lord, as always, forgive us where we fail you. In that name that's above all names, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item is to adopt the agenda. Do we have any additions or subtractions to the agenda?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Next is presentations. Are there any presentations?
I do.
The first one we have is from MSI Benefits Group. This is off of the RFP for insurance broker for employer.
Okay. Well, they you.
Yes, they are.
I can hand it out. Okay, thank you so much.
Give one to the attorney.
All right. Our counterpart always says that if you're not first, you're last. So thanks for having us go first. All righty. Well, thanks so much for having us. I have to say, I think this is the first time I've ever given a presentation directly in front of my competitors back there. But as long as they all don't steal our secrets as to why we're the best, we'll be good. But anyways, if you want to go ahead and click forward, or I can. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll let you do it. But I'm Ashley Gilder. This is Tommy Hayes. We're with MSI Benefits Group. Thanks again for having us. We are not too far from y'all. If you want to click forward. All right, yeah, so like I was saying, we are not too far from y'all. Our headquarters is in Kennesaw. We do operate under a very old school approach. So we are all under, one building, under one roof. We really operate in a teams approach, which does differ from a lot of our other competitors. But we are corporately located in Kennesaw, Georgia.
Yes.
So I did put together this quick agenda here, and we will walk through, what really makes MSI different, our comprehensive service model. I promise to fly through it. I do not want to put y'all to sleep and bore you to tears. But we will go through, like I said, what makes us different, our cost mitigation strategies, reporting capabilities, and then our approach to really driving health and wellness.
Yes, and like Ashley mentioned, my name is Tommy Hayes, and one thing that does make us a little unique and different from other brokers out there is that we are independently owned and operated. So like Ashley said, we are located in Kennesaw. We have one office there. We've been in that same office building since about, I think, 2005. And before then, we're in a different office since the 90s. So we're all in one roof, come to the office each day, work together, which I think really makes a big difference. Another thing is, with our office, this is a husband and wife team that initially built MSI back in the 80s, and they've kept it that way to this day. So you'll see a lot in our industry. There's always one bigger fish buying the next bigger fish out there. And it's really happened a lot in the last 10, 15 years. So, we're independently owned and operated. We don't have any plans to buy anyone or be purchased or merged by anybody else. Our focus is the public sector and in the state of Georgia. So we work from Dade County, Northwest Georgia, down to Glenn County.
And I can even speak to that personally. So we have a lot of tenure in our office, and I'm actually one of the newest MSI employees. I've been there for 2 years now, been in the industry for a total of 13. So my prior 11 years was actually with a different brokerage firm similar to MSI, independently owned, but then we were acquired by one of those larger national firms. In my experience, it did change things, and I will never forget calling one of my customers, letting them know that I was going to MSI. And they were like, oh my gosh, Ashley, that's the firm that does everything for you. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was like, what? Like, we're already doing everything for you. What possibly more could we be doing? But MSI really does have a different approach in that we, our overall objective is to be an extension of you. So our service model has evolved over time, and you'll see here in a few slides, really everything that we provide every single one of our customers, regardless of size. So this here is just a sample, of our clients.
Yeah, our clients, like I said, our main niche is the public sector with Georgia.
And we actually have, more than any government clients and any other broker in the state of Georgia. So we do tend to almost exclusively focus on the public sector. We're proud to represent a lot of cities, counties, and authorities out there.
And with that, we're very involved with different conferences, GLGPA, the GMA conference each summer, ACCG, GCCMA, all those different ones out there. So we like to be involved with the cities, counties around.
Mm-hmm. That, as I had alluded to earlier, so this is just an example of our MSI solutions here, which, like I said, this has really evolved over time. So as our service or as our clients' needs evolve, as does our service model. So every single one of our clients, you get a designated benefits consultant. That's where Tommy and I really fit. We are not salespeople. We truly have books of business that, we run and oversee the work. So we're ultimately responsible for that overall benefit strategy, ensuring that the benefits always align with the overall organizational goals and objectives. And then we're ultimately responsible for the plan management, analytics, renewal forecasting, things of that nature that come along with that. You also get a designated account manager, of course, and then we have an enrollment platform that we provide free of charge to all of our customers. You will have a designated IT director and enrollment team that sits behind him as support. And we handle everything from building out the plans and rates in the enrollment platform to the carrier file feeds. You are not involved whatsoever in that process. We also have our member advocacy team. So we have a live customer service that, like I said, we are all under one roof. We really operate in a team's approach. So anytime something needs to be escalated, we are sitting down and talking through how best we can bring those issues to resolution. And we want to serve as that first point of contact for your employees. So whether they have claims issues or maybe billing issues, if they had a claim that was denied, it is not out of the ordinary for our team to sit there and actually draft appeal letters to send directly to the insurance carrier on their behalf. So customer service is something we truly pride ourselves on, and we feel like really sets us apart. Administrative support. So you will also have a designated billing specialist. That individual is going to reconcile every single one of your monthly carrier invoices, identify any billing discrepancies, send you those statements on an ongoing basis to really ensure that everything is correct. And then additionally, we do handle the 1094, 1095 filings and provide a client and HR portal.
Yeah, and I'll just add on, I think the question on that RFP is, are there other fees for any of this? And there's not with MSI. So even the 1095s, compliance, any of that, we're there just to help y'all. We don't add any additional fee or charge for any type of service. So if there's something that the client needs that y'all need, then we'll handle it for you.
So this just further elaborates onto that. So the enrollment support, like I said, you have an enrollment team too. I think I had jumped over this, but they're meeting with your new hires one-on-one every single month. We very commonly are going on site, sometimes even twice a month, to meet with every single new hire to enroll them in their benefits and provide that education. We're also, have our team on site face-to-face to support open enrollment. And in addition to all of those things that we have mentioned there with the portal, the custom communications, benefits guide, we also do benefit statements post open enrollment.
Yes. This is a quick snapshot of our enrollment platform. It's called Zevo. It's very easy to use. You log in, and again, we use this as understanding. Obviously, we want to have technology, and some employees may want to, for open enrollment, go on and enroll themselves. But we obviously always want to be there to answer the questions, be face to face with those employees as well. So for open enrollment, or a room like this with their laptop, with that employee answering the questions and going through this. Because we know a lot of employees would like that. Insurance is very confusing. There's deductibles, co-pays, max out of pocket. So we try to be in front of them. But we do have an enrollment platform that is very easy to use. It has different tiles here, so you can click on each one. It shows what your cost is after you confirm your benefits. It sends them a PDF of what they enrolled in as well. Very easy to use. And also, this is all everything is designed and built up with MSI employees. So we aren't having any other vendor go out and have to build the Zevo site. And that helps us turn around stuff quickly. Obviously, for different counties and cities, sometimes they have to wait to get a vote on something, and once that's approved, we turn around really fast because hey, we have to get benefit guides printed, the packets ready to go, get open enrollment all set up. So I think one thing with us is we're pretty nimble and we can move quickly. So we're not like, oh, it's going to take 7 business days to get Zevo set up and do this and that. The printer for our benefit guides is in our office, probably the size of this table here.
Yeah.
We actually print all those there. We try to do everything in-house, so we're in control of it, and we can have that timetable on our whenever we need it.
I was just talking about how we were actually at another BOC meeting last night, getting final decisions. Their open enrollment starts next week. So yeah, to echo what Tommy said, we are very nimble. We don't have any red tape. So we can move very quickly when it comes to building out and preparing for that open enrollment.
Quickly here, just our MSI client portal. So for one thing that we always ask for our clients is, we handle everything as far as the reconciliation and answering questions. We always just need to know if you hire someone, if there's a termination or if there's a qualifying life event, we can do that through the client portal there, where and the employer and employees that actually be able to log into this. And it's just a simple login where you can go make those changes. You send those requests in, and then our eligibility staff handles everything else. So if there's a termination, they turn that employee. We have the billing reconciliation that will make sure that person's off the bill. So they all kind of work as a team to kind of checks and balances there as well. There's also service requests. If an employee wants to log in and send us a service request instead of calling us or emailing us, they can do that. All the claims files, the PDFs of the benefit guides, plan summaries are all listed on here, one easy website to go to. There's also an HR resources page as well. So there's an HR hotline on there. You can call like Monday through Friday, get an expert in human resources if you have some type of issue that you want to call and speak with someone about. So we have that as well. It's kind of like a SHRM platform. You have a lot of different information about ERISA or COBRA, anything like that, HR related. It's a good resource for as well.
So the next slide here, it's just outlines our annual marketing strategy. So currently you are under that fully insured arrangement where you are just paying that fixed premium to the insurance carrier. However, there are a lot of other options out there, which include self-funding. So MSI does practice an annual comprehensive market evaluation, which does include evaluating those different funding methodologies. We always say no one's intent is to change carriers every year. No one wants that. We don't want, all of that disruption for the employees. But what is key is that, it's really our job to secure the most competitive contracts and pricing available to you. And if nothing else, to hold that incumbent carrier accountable. So this is something that we execute, like I said, on an annual basis, which does include evaluating those different funding methodologies. So just to further elaborate a bit into that self-funded approach, so you'll see on the left-hand side where it outlines what that fully insured model looks like. All components are with one carrier. It makes it super easy from an administrative and employee perspective. However, there's not a lot of flexibility, data transparency under that model. So if you want more control, you want more insight into your claims data, and really be under approach that sets you up better for the long term, it is often self-funding. So you'll see there where typically under a self-funded model, all of those different components are with different carriers. So administration, network, pharmacy, stop loss. This is the approach that MSI feels is the best and most cost-efficient model for our clients, because what it does is it requires all of those components to stand on their own merit, which means that you are getting the best of the best for every single one of those categories. Now, there are also different options out there, including captives, consortiums, trusts, things of that nature, where it could be self-funded, but you're sharing the risk, amongst the pool of other like-minded employer groups. So in your case, it would be government entities. However, under that model, it's typically only with one carrier. Well, hopefully that carrier is truly the best of the best in all of those different areas, but that's not always the case. So comprehensive benefits here. So this just shows all of the different solutions that we are regularly evaluating for our customers, especially when you're under a self-funded model. There are so many opportunities there and cost mitigation strategies that can be implemented. So I certainly won't go through every single one of these, but you'll see here lots of different options to really help round out and ensure that you're offering a very comprehensive and competitive benefits package. Now, moving on to the next slide, you'll see on the prior slide, the very top line with sourcing program, notably with Veracity RX. That's going to be pharmacy. That's where the biggest cost savings opportunity lies. It is with the pharmacy benefits manager. You want to ensure that you have transparent contracts with pass-through rebates at 100%, and that you're also leveraging the cost mitigation programs out there for pharmacy drugs. That is where the carriers make all their money. So again, going back to if there's maybe a captive solution that's being proposed and it's all with one carrier, oftentimes it is not completely transparent contracts, and you cannot leverage the cost savings programs out there, like manufacturer discount programs and international sourcing. So this is just an example here. We have about 20 government clients now who have implemented this type of program and seen tremendous success, including a few that are just, in neighboring cities to you. So this is an example here for one client. We moved them from a fully insured arrangement to the self-funded approach with those pharmacy savings programs. And you'll see here where in year one alone, we saved them $1.8 million. So typically the projected cost savings opportunity there is roughly 50% of your pharmacy spend. Now, something to keep in mind, I always say the numbers speak for themselves. Self-funded is not always the best option for everyone. If you have a lot of high claims, a lot of large ongoing, activity, it can be tough to secure that catastrophic claimant protection, which really, is a must to be self-funded. So I always say the numbers speak for themselves. It is something that we review annually, and the year it makes sense, the numbers will tell us that's what we need to do. So these next few slides I'm going to fly through. They are just sample reporting, but that's a very important piece of the puzzle, for the consulting piece of it. So again, this is just sample plan reporting here. This is just a snapshot outlining the historical health plan renewal increase, the high cost claimant impact, prescription drug utilization, and we can really drill down into that. We do provide customer reporting packages for every single one of our customers. So understanding those, data points that are important to you are key, and then we can put together a reporting package that best suits your needs. Moving on to the next one, this is just an avoidable care. We always like to evaluate this to help us identify targeted communication opportunities. So if we have a lot of frequent flyers at the ER that maybe could be going to an urgent care, let's look at doing a targeted communication piece throughout the year. The next one here, this is going to be a self-funded spend breakdown. So example reporting, if you were to move self-funded, obviously more components there, but we break it down. and it's easy as possible to understand kind of snapshot here. And we always like to go back as far as we can to really serve as that historical reference point.
And I will say, actually, these reports are very eye-opening and kind of lets you know, what is actually happening with your medical plan and where your dollars are going.
Yeah, our intent is never just to throw data at you, because if that's the case, then what's the point? You really want to use it as a way to uncover trends that we can then, either provide solutions that will help solve for it, or provide a member education to help bring those trends and, high utilization areas that we're seeing down. This is just self-insured aggregate report. Another sample here of what you could expect. Moving on to the next slide, that's just going to be a large claimant progression. Looking at where those large claimants lie. This really helps in our negotiations with your renewal. So I always say there's really no point when we're looking at data that you should, be surprised by a renewal increase. We are readily and continually evaluating claims data and utilization throughout the year with you. So we will have a good idea as to where that, projected renewal is going to land. And then this is some public sector benchmarking here. So you'll see where we compared it to the state health benefit plan. They have a lot of different plans. We've narrowed down here on Anthem and UHC. You will see that United Healthcare, it is priced higher. And that's because, they don't have as good of discounts as anyone else, particularly in the state of Georgia. So they are more expensive. And then you'll see where their costs compare to MSI's book of business. The average there for both counties and cities. And then we also partner with Engagement Health Group to provide a wellness solution to all of our customers. I understand that this is actually already a partner of y'all's. So we do have a very good partnership with them. We can come, alongside the team here to really improve that relationship, improve those program offerings, and what that process looks like. And most importantly, let's make sure that y'all are really getting an ROI, so that it's worthwhile and you're getting, bang for your buck. So that's certainly something that we could come alongside, like I said, the existing team to make sure that that's a good solution. And then that is all I have for you. So this is just a lot of tiny words about everything that we offer all of our clients.
Comprehensive of you guys.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep it short and concise for y'all. I know it's.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I know we covered a lot. I know we kind of, ran through that pretty quickly. But we really appreciate the opportunity. We would love to serve as you all's, broker and partner. But I do want to allow time if there are any questions.
Sure. Well, it looks like it's good data in the packet, so anything we sped through, we can definitely find and read. Are there any questions from the board to staff? Any questions? That usually means you did a really good job, or people are nervous. So I'd go with the first one then. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all so much.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I would like to clarify that we put out an RFP. We had 6 potential brokers come in. These were the top 2 that were narrowed down to by committee. So our second presentation will be from Mark 3 for insurance broker as well.
Turn the arrow a little more here.
Yeah.
Get this one back in. I have to pay.
Pull a little bit. I don't know what I'm saying.
I think that would have fair. Someone turn that on. I don't know if it been there or not. Leslie. I thought I saw someone go there. I thought I saw you go that way, but good. It's good to see everybody this evening. I'm Rusty Parker. This is Zach, my son. I normally call him my younger brother. It makes me feel better. But we're from Valdosta. We have we're with Mark III, obviously. We been around for 53 years now doing public sector and public sector only. In 2019, they actually out of Charlotte was where they started, in Charlotte, North Carolina. The home office is in Johnson City, Tennessee now. We do have a state office now in Woodstock, Georgia. So Mark III's been doing this quite a while. We have over 200 clients in the southeastern part of the United States, but it is still a family-owned brokerage firm. And they made a concerted effort 3 years ago to move into the state of Georgia. They hired me and my son to start working with them at that time. And so we've been around the state talking about the Mark III products. So we'll kind of get into some details of what we do. But I said 53 years. We have over 30 accounts now in the state of Georgia. We started with one back in 2019. And since then, we've got, since 2022, we have over 30 now. So we are growing our market in this area. Let's go to the next page. Our company values with integrity. We demonstrate that through, ethical decision making. We want to earn your trust by doing the right thing all the time. It's very transparent on everything that we do. With hard work and practice and honesty and transparency, communication with your group helps build trust and builds the values that we're trying to do in the state of Georgia. This is our team, so it's just not back in our sales guys. Okay, so we just go around seeing people. We have a back office team that really does all the work, quite frankly. So this shows you our team. We've got Josh McGee, which if you guys have any health questions, he's our health specialist. And Derek, he's not up there, but they come from United Healthcare. North Carolina. He actually run United Healthcare, the claims department up there for several years. We hired him away to help us build out some of the things that we're doing in the state now. But everything we do is later. We have a client service rep here in Montgomery. We have account executives. We have Laura McNulty. She's our implementations coordinator. So I know change is always hard. And so we help you with change with Laura. She walks you through the whole process, gathers information, and take a lot of work off you guys. We have everything we do is in-house. Our marketing team's in-house, our technology team's in-house. And anytime you have an issue, you call one person, and that one person can go across the hall. If it's a tech issue, a claims issue, or whatever, everything's done in-house. We don't have to outsource anything. So, which is really handy. You don't have to put in a ticket, wait 2 or 3 weeks for somebody to respond to this tech issue. So, what's that?
I'll take over from here. Just going over the in-house team again. I'm Zach, but one thing that's very important to us is to make sure that everything is taken care of in a timely manner, but everything is also taken care of very cohesively. So having everyone in-house and everything we do, not outsourcing anything to anyone else, really makes everything cohesive. So it's a one-stop shop with Mark III. We do everything from A to Z for you, and that way you're not having to worry about, well, who else is involved in the process and who else is involved in taking care of your customer service. It's all done in-house. Our enrollment service team, we have over 300 enrollers in-house. They are paid a salary, which is really important. They're not commissioned. So when they come talk to the employees, they're just going to get paid that salary. They're not there to sell. They're not going to pressure the employees. They're just going to educate them on what the process is and make sure they're the right fit for their benefit options. Our technology team is in-house. Those are the smartest guys we work with. They usually sit in the basement and build out everything for you, but they're going to build out that enrollment platform. They're going to build out your website, which we'll show you later. And I do think it's very important talking about that. Everything we do is not fee-based. Everything we do is free. We take a much lower commission so that we can fund all these things we're doing for you guys and to make sure you're taken care of. We're not going to hit you with the fee for the website or for the tech team or hit you with a fee for the enrollment staff or anything like that at the end. We have a communication specialist in-house in our bill rec team. We have an entire team of bill reconciliation people who take care of all that for you. So everything is very layered. And I know that we'll have some time for questions at the end, but please, if you have a question, just stop me and yell at me or throw something at me or anything would be good. Right now, we're up to 30 accounts in the state of Georgia, but we've only been in Georgia full-time for 2 years. So we're making a lot of headway in the state of Georgia. North Carolina's market is very similar to Georgia. Me and Mr. Parker here, being from South Georgia, a rural area, it was very important to us to be able to bring all that Mark III can do to a lot of these smaller communities, which is really exciting for us. Being from small town South Georgia, it is really nice to be able to offer all these things, and we're making a lot of headway. Here's what we're going to hit today really fast. If I sound like I'm talking really fast, I know the only thing worse than listening to a 30-minute presentation about insurance is listening to 2 in a row. So I'm going to try to go really quick for you guys. So if I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry. But we'll hit the employee experience, the best-in-class benefits, enrollment solutions, and administration services. The employee experience is what it looked like for them. So you have a customized website we build out for you. That is a one-stop shop website for all that you do. It is not just a website for Mark III benefits. It's a website for anything you want on there, and you'll get with our tech department and they will help you customize that and build out exactly what you want on that website. We have a video correspondence, David Huffy from our home office. That is just the extra thing that we do. If you want them to come down and shoot a video for a job fair or safety compliance or a pump up video or anything for your county, we can make sure we take care of that for you and they come down and do it. Direct communications through text messaging, benefit booklets, posters, and of course our Mark III mobile app, which is probably the most popular thing we do because everybody has their phone on at all times. Our website, I'll show you at the end if we can get through this quick enough. I'll try to show you really quick. Benefit guide, this is pretty industry standard now, you'll see, but we customize the benefit guide to what you guys want. You'll see a lot of QR codes in it so people can download the apps. Even in there, it'll take them straight to the website. It'll take them to our enrollment scheduler and things like that. Direct communication with employees. Communication is very, very important to us. We want to make sure that during that open enrollment period, leading up to it, during it, and after, they're communicating with the employees and make sure that they have everything at their fingertips. So we're going to send out text message to all your employees, letting them know, hey, open enrollment's coming up. Here's a hyperlink to click on it. That can take them to the website or take them to the enrollment appointment scheduler, which I'll show you a little later. We also can send out direct communications for wellness things that we'll go through later or anything you want with the text messaging. We're not watching this video of the city of Canton dancing around, but we don't have time for it. But that's just one of the video examples we have. Canton wanted to do a pump up video, kind of like a go around the fire department city and videos and stuff and put that on their website for people to view. The mobile app is Apple and Google Play compatible. And from that app, people can file claims, schedule a phone call for one of our enrollers or one of our claims specialists from home office. They can do anything at the touch of the button with that app. Look at all the benefits. It really cuts down on them coming to the HR department and say, what benefits do I have? What do I have? Can you tell me what I have again? They just pull out their phone and click on it and see all the benefits right there. Best in class benefits. You gonna do that one? Okay. Best in class benefits. First of all, with Mark III being around for so long and the large book of business we have, but still with that small town feel, we really leverage, that for our competitors, for our carriers to make sure that we're getting the best products for you guys out there. We do take level compensation. If you know what that is with benefits, all of our comp is level. That way we're not trying to change your benefits all the time just to get new upfront comp. It does not matter to us. We just want to make sure you're in the right position. If you like the benefits you currently have, we keep you there. But if you want to make a change, you can. We usually I call it the all-you-can-eat buffet of benefits. We bring it to you. We are not tied to any one carrier, but we make sure that you have options there. You pick and choose what you think is best for your employees because every city and county is a little bit different. So we just give you that option. A couple things we require from our vendors. One, we make them make everything guaranteed issue every single year. If Jimmy has no heart issues, he's a track star, he's 35 years old, he's an athlete, and he doesn't sign up for the critical illness because he thinks nothing's ever going to happen to him, and then all of a sudden the next year he has a heart attack, he can sign up for the critical illness plan the next year because we make our carriers make it guaranteed issue every single year. Most of the time, carriers are going to say it's guaranteed issue the first year, and then the next year you have to fill out evidence of insurability. We're not going to do that with our carriers. We're going to hold their feet to the fire and make sure everybody can sign up every single year. If somebody gets diagnosed with cancer, they can sign up for the cancer policy the next year. Now, of course, it's not your pay if they're in the middle of an ongoing cancer claim, but if they're cancer free for one day, we're going to pick up that claim as soon as they go back into it if they have a relapse. Everything's portable, but that should be an industry standard as well.
One thing we need to add here too is we do everything. So everything's under one umbrella, health insurance and all the voluntary products as well. So we're not outsourcing anything to any other firms.
Unbiased consulting, again, we're not tied to anybody. We're not tied to any carriers. We're going to basically do what you guys need to do. And we're going to make sure that those requirements are upheld by those vendors. They don't want to lose business with Mark III, so they're going to bend over backwards to make sure you guys are taken care of. Again, we're a true consultant. We're licensed with over 60 different carriers. We're going to handle your medical all the way down to everything that you do under that umbrella. So it's all taken care of by us. Healthcare consulting. So with the healthcare, a couple of things. We do self-insurance. We do fully insured. We also have our intergovernmental pool that starts 7/1. We've been working 2 years on. I won't go into a ton of details on it, but there's power in numbers. I know you don't have another hour to go over this, but with the intergovernmental pool that starts 7/1, we already have a bunch of cities and counties in Georgia that are jumping in that pool. Basically, the North Carolina pool that we're running with the same demographics as Georgia has, we're averaging a 2.5% increase year over year is the average, which if you do that math over the course of a 20-year period, you can see how much you can save your cities and counties. Working in the state of Georgia the first 2 years, when we did a lot of market research and me and him were going to the cities and counties, we kept hearing over and over again, we're getting a 20% increase, we're getting a 50% increase, we're getting a 100% increase. And they just don't know what to do because it's almost unbudgetable. So we knew that Mark III needed to take action in the state of Georgia. So they spent a lot of money, a lot of time over the last 2 years building this thing out, and it's ready to rock and roll as of 7/1 next year. I know that you guys are a very good size and candidate. One thing that you'll see if you talk to insurance specialists is if you self-insure and you're a smaller city and county, you're really putting yourself at risk. If you have a bad year, one bad year with some claims, and you're in big trouble. So this pool is a self-insurance pool that spreads out your risk to everyone else, but it's also, you still have that autonomy to pick your carrier, pick your plan, and pick all the different things you want. So you're not pigeonholed into something that everybody else has. You still have the ability to pick and choose what you want, what deductible, what carrier, copay, all those different things. That's a super high overview of it. I'm trying to get it. Wellness program. We have an in-house wellness coordinator. Her name is Mackenzie Barrel. All she does is wellness benefits wellness programs for you guys. That is her entire job. And she does wellness programs for cities and counties as small as 100, all the way up to the Duke University Hospital, 40,000 people. So she's done it all over the place with different sizes, but she sends out a lot of surveys to employees because the big thing about wellness is getting them involved. Okay. If nobody's involved in the wellness, then it's not going to have the impact of keeping everyone else healthy and keeping those claims down for you guys. So with these wellness programs, we want to make sure that we get people involved, and that's what Mackenzie does. She gets with your team, talks to you guys about what you guys vision you have, gives y'all some suggestions, and then she implements those wellness programs for you, so you're not having to do it on your own. And that we've seen a lot of progress there with the wellness. I'll show you all a few slides here in a second. That's a couple of example wellness campaigns. In the state of North Carolina, being around for so long, we've actually won awards for the wellness programs that we run and able to keep people's health better. You'll see here is just one example of the city of Rocky Mountain from 2013 to 2022. Analytics said at first they only had 52% of people participating, but through the surveys and through the different incentives that we offer, we got them all the way up to that 90 percentile and hovering around there. And then you can see on the right hand side the impact that has on people's weight, it has on the waist, all those different things. You can see those numbers trending in the right direction, which of course correlates to lower health insurance costs because you have a healthier demographic. Enrollment process. Am I going too fast for y'all?
No, sir.
That's good. Okay. Enrollment process. First of all, we want to make sure you have enrollment options. Everything is catered to what you want. We're not going to tell you how we're going to do enrollment. We're going to tell you all the different things we do and let you tell us how we want it run. We're going to make sure we communicate directly to your employees to make sure they're educated. And of course, that customized technology that's built out in-house. We do have that salary staff. They're not commissioned. They're educators. They come in, they sit down with your employees, and they educate on everything across the board that you offer. Even if it's not a mark-free product, even if it's something that you guys want to add into the open enrollment, we can do that. If it's a gym membership or something else you guys want to offer, we can. Even if it's retirement services. It's an educational format. The options we have are group presentations, one-on-one, face-to-face. We have a guided call center enrollment we can do. That call center is manned by enrollers, so it's the same people that have to speak to them. We have the online self-enroll. Each account has a local enrollment manager. Of course, we'll be here, but we have an enrollment manager that goes to each account during open enrollment and manages that entire thing. It takes all the pressure off of HR and makes sure that they're not having to run around like a chicken with their head cut off, making sure everything's done properly. That enrollment manager manages it for them. We also have new hire representation, and you guys can do that however you want. Some of the places will have us come in person if that's what you want. We'll have an enroller here every time you want them. If you want to have a video on the website for a new employee orientation and then have us come, we really can do it however you guys want. It's really up to y'all to customize what your needs are. This is an example of the appointment schedule I talked about earlier. If somebody gets a text message and says, "Hey, next week's open enrollment," please click on this link if you want to, schedule a time to get with an enroller. Say they're from, the police department. They click on it, goes to the police department. It shows, okay, at 8 o'clock, there's 3 slots. They put their name in one slot. They hit enter. They get an email letting them know, here's your time to go. It just makes it really seamless. It makes it really nice to where everybody doesn't have to come up here and line up out the door and wait for open enrollment, not be able to do their job. We're going to go to them and make sure that we're there for them. And it just makes it run a lot smoother. And that enrollment manager is going to take care of that process. Platforms that we have for y'all, we have the employee website, and we have the HR website. The employee website, I'll show you all a little bit, but the HR website is very customized to how you want it. How often do you want reports? What do you want on that website that fits your needs as an HR admin? Administration services. First of all, everything we do is very layered. We want to make sure that your customer service you're taking care of. One of the biggest things we hear from people is that they can't get a hold of somebody or they've been waiting a long time on a claim. But with our layered services, it makes it very easy. You will have a dedicated account manager. That's Karen Montgomery. She's the director of client services. But her team and what they do is anytime you have any issue, you call your account manager. And of course, they can always text us or call us. But that account manager knows your account inside and out. They're maxed out at 15 accounts. That way that they're not spread way too thin, and they take care of everything for you. If you have any issue across the board, you call that one person and they take care of it. Not, well, okay, we have a tech issue, who do we call? With this issue, who do we call? You call that one person and they know your account, take care of it. You'll receive one-on-one attention for that account specialist, client service specialist. We're really big on face-to-face. We're around the state all the time. So you will have 2 points of contacts every month, at least face-to-face by us. We'll come by face-to-face once a month and check in on you. And then the client service specialist will check by once a month. That is huge for us because we want to make sure that there's that personal touch of contact, because the email is an email. It's great. Emails are important, but we want to make sure we see you face-to-face, because sometimes you can communicate things better in person than you can through an email. And sometimes just dropping by sparks your memory. I can't tell you how many times we drop by somewhere and they're like, "Oh snap, completely forgot about this issue. Let me talk to you about it while you're here," which is really important. This is something that is becoming very, very popular. We've got incredible feedback on this. We have hired some HR consultants. They have over 50 years experience. There's only 2 up there, but we have 3 in the HR. The biggest thing, one of the bigger things we saw going around and talking to people is most HR is an HR department of 1 in these smaller cities and counties. And when and some have 2, maybe, if they're big, but they get spread really, really thin. So we hired some HR consultants, and they're to be an extension of your HR department. And what they're going to be able to do for you is, if you've ever been in HR and you run into a problem, maybe you're newer, maybe you haven't dealt with that issue before, maybe you don't really know what to do, but maybe it's a sensitive thing. You can't go to somebody else in the county and talk to them about it because the word can't get out. You can go to our HR consultants with all their experience, and they can really help you out. They teach a lot of classes, they do seminars, and all these different things that they can be there to help teach HR and maybe make your HR stronger and help out with issues that are there. We've got a ton of positive feedback on the HR consulting, especially from the smaller cities. Our bill reconciliation team, we've already really kind of talked about that, but that bill rec is in-house and they reconcile all the bills. We make a lot of our carriers bill as deducted, which takes care of a lot of stuff. That means they actually pull their bill out of what's being deducted. That way, there's hardly ever any discrepancies. Not saying there will be any discrepancies, but if there are, the bill rec team will fix it for you. There's going to be no more having to deal with all that. We also do EDI feeds. Our technology team builds out the EDI feed. So when someone during open enrollment, how many other people sign up for the benefits, they're not having to go in, HR is not having to go in and key any of that in. It is automatically communicated from the enrollment system over to your payroll and then immediately uploaded. The bill rec team goes in and looks through it, make sure it's on. It takes a lot of work off HR. Excuse me. Implementation timeline. Like I said earlier, one of the very first slides you saw that we have an implementation coordinator, implementation team. But our implementation team is some of the favorite people out there because they hold the hand and go through all the changes to make sure you don't feel left alone. There's a weekly phone call that they do to go through each step of the process. It's very coordinated and it's designed to take stress off and make sure it's a very seamless process. So what is our competitive advantages? Everything we do is in-house. Pretty much it. That's this whole slide. We do everything in-house, and it makes it really, really easy on you guys. Any questions, concerns, comments, jokes, stories?
You'll share the website.
Yeah, let me show you guys kind of a sample website really quick. Is that okay? Actually, did that 17 minutes. So I mean, y'all just have to hear me over here in the corner. I promise it's still me. But this is the website for Cherokee County Schools. They have about 5,500 employees. But what we want to do with this website is have our tech team build out something that's very customizable for you guys and very easy for your employees to deal with. I'm just going to click on a few tabs here so y'all can see this. But this is our benefits site. This, of course, has state health on it because it's for the school system, but you can see this is very easy for your employees to see. They can sit down with their spouse. They can click on all these benefits. Obviously, this is accessed on the mobile app as well. I don't know if it's going to play loud. Doesn't seem like it does.
Life is unpredictable. Accidents can happen when you least expect them.
That's probably enough of that video. But basically, each benefit that you offer is going to have a 1-minute video that we build out. It's going to educate that employee on a certain level so they at least have an idea of it. They're going to be able to see the rates, file a claim, all these things within the website. But the website is not, like I said, just for Mark III. You can put your, if you have a local retirement rep that y'all deal with, somebody handles retirement, we can throw that on there. EAP programs, we're seeing a lot more EAP programs. Some of our carriers will offer those. Those are like counseling, digital counseling, online counseling, things like that. But we really can throw anything on here. Calendars, events you guys have coming up, whatever y'all want on that website, our team will build it out and they'll get with y'all and see what y'all. I think that is probably good enough.
So, you guys have any questions?
Any questions? Good. Do I have any questions? That's got to be a record. 2 of them in a row. They're just so good. There are no questions.
That could be the fastest I've ever done a presentation. I think 19 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Great job. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Thank y'all.
All right. This give them a chance to get out of the. We're good over there, Matthew?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Have mine.
Okay. Next item is the finance report.
Yes, sir. Commissioners, on the front page are the current bank balances as well as the current and year-to-date interest amounts received on the investment accounts. Also, on the 15th of this month, we received the insurance premium tax. We budgeted 1.3 million and it actually came in at 1.357. So it came in at more. We also received the third quarter tipping fees. Both the second and third quarter payments have seen a significant increase over the first quarter. We should receive the loss, SPLOS, and T-SPLOS payments at the end of this week. The SPLOS balance at this moment is 1.3 million and the T-SPLOS balance is 669,000.
Any questions about the financial report? Have any department heads here to speak?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Let's see, there's no citizen comments, so we move on to the minutes of the October 6th, 2025 regular meeting at 6 p.m. Everyone had a chance to review those. Any changes need to be made?
Make a motion to accept the minutes from October 6, 2025, regular meeting, 6 o'clock.
Second.
All in favor? Next item is a public hearing. Case number PC 25-013. Request from Tower Co. LLC to hear a request for special use of parcel 107-030-001, otherwise known as 3552 Harmony Church Road, from LDR to LDR special use for the proposed use of a communication tower. Do I have a motion going to public hearing?
Second.
All in favor? Public hearing is 6:51. Okay.
All right. Good evening. This case is a request from Tower Co. Company LLC for proposed use located at Harmony Road as read earlier. It's located, property is owned by Miss Patsy Waddell. It is to allow the installation of a 225-foot communication tower. T-Mobile is the company that will be on the tower. Parcel is currently LDR. The applicant seeks to rezone LDR special use for the proposed use of the tower. The Federal Aviation Administration reviewed the proposed tower height and issued a determination of no hazard to the air navigation. Tower was originally proposed at 225 feet, but was reduced to the 226 per the FAA review. Lighting including would be white lights during the day, red lights at night. The Planning Commission vote was split, 2 votes for denial, citing safety concerns, 1 vote for approval based on FAA compliance and staff recommendations. All required advertisements, signage, and notices have been completed. The case is located in District 5, Chairman Adam Worsley's district. I do have a representative here with Tower Co. to give you some clarity on the FAA report that was given.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, before you all get started, as you probably recall, your ordinances do lay out that you would have 10 to 20 minutes for each side, plus a 5-minute for rebuttal during public hearing. The 10 to 20, that's a minimum of 10, a maximum of 20, unless the board wants to vote to set those rules aside. So I would suggest before we get started hearing the 2 sides, that y'all establish where in that 10 to 20 y'all want to be for purposes of this public hearing.
Yeah, because obviously Tower Co is gonna be on the favorable side.
That's correct.
So, give me 1 second, sir, and you can be the first. We'll start with the speaking in favor of this request and outlining your explanation of Tower Co.
But we need to know how much time you're giving both sides. Your ordinances don't lay out a specific, they say between 10 and 20. So we
We're gonna
need to
give
know.
10 minutes to each side, and if we need to extend it, we will.
You want to put that to
As a motion.
as a motion.
Yes, second. All in favor?
Mr. Chair, can we have 15 minutes?
We just approved 10, so we will adjust if we need to.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. O'Connor.
All right, yes, sir, go ahead.
You ready?
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. My name is Patton Hahn. My address is 1901 6th Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama. I'm with the law firm of Baker Donaldson, here representing Tower Co.
Let me first, I'll get to the FAA issues in a second, but in your staff report, you have maps which show that there's a very significant gap in wireless coverage in this area of the county. And this tower is is going to plug that gap and improve the wireless connectivity around the roads in that area and for the residents in that area. It's almost a dead zone. In this case, this tower is being built at the request of T-Mobile. They have a dead zone in that area and they need service in that area and the residents need service. While T-Mobile is the company that is directing and behind the building of this tower, it'll have space on that tower for the other wireless carriers, Verizon and AT&T. And I imagine, given the where towers and tall structures are in that area, they will also co-locate on that. And let's be very clear, that gap in wireless coverage is near the county airport. And so you're going to have some sort of structure in that area if you're going to address the need for wireless coverage in that area. As Cassandra said, we originally proposed, or T-Mobile originally wanted this tower to be 255 feet tall to get the maximum coverage. As we were going through due diligence for this process, one of those requirements and a requirement of your ordinance is that we get FAA approval for our tower. We submitted to the FAA. They sent us back a no hazard determination, said you can't have a 255-foot tower. It can't be taller than 226 feet. We then reduced it. And that's what we revised the plans, we submitted them to the county, and we believe that's a safe determination. We're relying on the FAA, which regulates all airspace in this country, and relying on their experts. I believe your planner even spoke with the FAA person who made the determination and went through their rationale. We have some people on Zoom tonight, Lindsay and Dale Smith from their aviation airspace safety analysts. They're going to tell you that you can rely and that Tower Co can rely on the FAA's determination. Your planning staff reviewed our application, matched it up against the requirements of your ordinance, and we meet every requirement of your ordinance. We worked very hard to meet those requirements. As a lawyer who does a lot of work regarding towers, county and municipal ordinances are our benchmark. You know, we look at them and we say, you can't have a tower there because you can't meet setbacks or you're too close to residential structures. In this case, we found a site where we meet all aspects of your ordinance, and we worked very hard to do that, and we do. This was the only property in T-Mobile generates a search ring to locate towers. And in this case, it's about a mile radius. This was the only property where we were able to find a landowner willing to lease to us. And so this is our only possible location for this tower. We believe we meet the FAA, that the FAA no hazard thing is objective determination of airspace safety in this area. And that it certainly takes into account your airport and the possibility that it might become an instrument navigation airport. And at this point, I guess Lindsay and Dale are actually on Zoom because they live in Florida. Would it be all right if they speak now and then maybe you ask questions to us?
If we need to speak to them, we can request them to speak. We can go ahead and move to the next person if you're done.
Okay. I'm happy to answer any questions you have as well.
Yes.
So.
How much time are we in for? 5:45.
So thank you. We'll call you back if we need anything else.
Okay.
Is anyone else here that would like to speak in favor of this request?
Would that be online?
I know we'll get to them. We'll make sure someone here gets heard first. There with him. So.
Yes.
So if anyone would like to speak in favor of the tower, please come up, state your name and address and your statement.
My name's Jason Waddell and I live on Harmony Church Road. And I actually have maps for you showing the location of the airport and of the cell phone tower. And the red icon there is the proposed cell phone tower when you see the runway of the airport. I'd like to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to speak for the community. I attended the Planning Commission hearing on October the 20th, and I heard what the Airport Authority had to say about the proposed tower and the concerns there, and how that it could disrupt the future plans that the authority has for the airport. And Mr. Powell of the authority had asked, why put up an obstacle? And I'd like to address why the community would like this obstacle there. The Roosevelt Memorial Airport has been in the community since the 1930s. It's an important part of the community. Many more people live in the vicinity of the airport now. And I think that we can all agree that communication is a key aspect for safety and well-being in today's world. As for this cell phone tower being an obstacle, airnav.com lists obstructions for airports. So for 5A9, which is the designation for the Roosevelt Memorial Airport, for runway 18, it lists 16 feet tall trees, 392 feet from the runway, 262 feet from the right of the center line, 12-to-1 slope to clear. And then for runway 36, it lists 84 feet tall trees, 1,040 feet from the runway, however far from the center line, 10-to-1 slope to clear. If you'll look at the map here, the proposed tower is 3,485 feet from the runway. So it's 7/10 of a mile from the runway and from the airport. As Mr. Hahn just mentioned, during this preliminary work, Tower Co. proposed a taller tower, but after input from the Federal Aviation Administration, the height was reduced to 226 feet. So to reiterate, the FAA cleared Tower Co. to erect this tower. And again, looking at the map, the runway and the flight path is on a bearing of north, roughly 10.5 degrees west. Now, I'm sure this is probably not what aviators use, but I'm a registered forester, so this is the bearings and all that I'm used to using. So if you see the bearing that the airport is on there, and you can see that this proposed tower is at a bearing of north 59 degrees east. So this is a 70-degree variance from the flight path of the runway. So if it was completely perpendicular to the flight path, it'd be 90 degrees, and this is at 70. So it's 7/10 of a mile from the runway and 70 degrees from this flight path. And according to the FAA guide to low-flying aircraft, 91.119 minimum safe altitude, item C, an altitude of 500 feet above the surface except over water or sparsely populated areas is what the limit is, 500 feet. This tower is at 226 feet tall. So it's well below what the minimum height that the airplanes can fly. So Mr. Piles asked in the Planning Commission, why put an obstacle here? The main reason is for the safety and the residents of the community. In Booger Bottom and surrounding areas, a lot of the areas are low-lying along creek bottoms with poor cell phone coverage. There are also many curvy roads and a high deer population in these areas around the airport, which can result in car accidents. So if someone were to wreck, having better cell phone service would allow them to be able to call for emergency services. There are also many older people in our community. So if one of these elder residents were to fall in their yard, they have adequate cell phone service and have a cell phone with them, they can call for help. And today, many people have forgone their landlines in favor of cell phones. So having a cell phone tower in the community would be a service, and it would allow the residents to communicate with loved ones. One of the speakers at the Planning Commission hearing stated, we all want cell towers, and in this community would greatly benefit from a cell tower. I have a great aunt that lives there. She is in her eighties, Aunt Barbara Bass. She lives just east of the airport by the watershed lake there, and there's poor service there. So having this cell phone tower in the community would help for her safety as well.
Thank you, sir. That was our time limit that we preset.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who'd like to speak in favor of this request? Just trying to determine if we need to add more than 10 minutes. We've used 10 minutes in favor of. Do we want to go back and hear from the people on the Zoom meeting?
I did.
All right, so I request we have the ability to extend
5 additional minutes.
All right, is that in the motion?
Yep.
I second your motion then, all in favor? 5 additional minutes, so please, sir, if you'll introduce your guests on Zoom.
And if you can make sure that we get their information written down.
I've got their resumes and I'll give them to you. Lindsay and Dale, if you could unmute yourself and then introduce yourself and there you go.
All right. Hi, my name is Lindsay Smith, and I'm here representing Airspace Safety Analysis and Compliance. I'm here regarding the proposed communications tower. First, I want to emphasize that the FAA has already issued a determination of no hazard for this structure. That means after a comprehensive airspace study, including evaluations of approach procedures, obstruction clearance surfaces, and safety margins, the FAA concluded that this tower does not pose a hazard to air navigation. The FAA's review is highly technical, covering every possible impact to aircraft operations. They analyzed the site relative to Part 77 imaginary surfaces, instrument approach paths, departures, and even future potential runway extensions where plans are formally proposed. Their approval means the tower meets federal safety standards for both existing and foreseeable operations. We understand that the local airport has expressed interest in potential future expansion. We fully respect and support the airport's long-term goals. However, as of today, there are no filed or approved FAA approach procedures and nothing that would make this tower inconsistent with those plans if they ever did move forward. Importantly, the FAA's determination already considers the possibility of future modifications. If the airport ever does expand, the FAA can and routinely does reevaluate the airspace at that time to ensure continued safety. The existence of this structure will not prevent that process. So while we understand their concerns, it is important to note that the FAA, the governing authority for airspace, has deemed this tower safe under current and foreseeable conditions. Thank you.
Thank you.
How much time do you got? 3:17.
So we got a minute and a half left if the other person would like to speak. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak in favor of? Okay, if not, we'll end it early and move to, is there anyone here that would like to speak opposed to this request?
Mr. Chair, it may be a good idea. Y'all basically allotted 15 minutes.
Go
It
ahead.
may be a good allotted, no, just to see how many people there are, and then you can divide time, or they can
Yes.
give their time to a speaker.
Show of hands of who is interested in speaking. Is there a chance that
I have
one
5
person-
people total.
Is there a chance that one of you can speak for the entire group for the entire allotted time, or is there different opinions we need to hear?
I think we need to bring the different facets
Okay.
in, Chair.
So if there's 5 total
So
people,
let's,
Mr. Chair, that'd be 3 minutes per person,
let's-
based on the 15 minutes y'all already allotted.
So we've got 3 minutes per person. Think we can do that?
I think we
already
can do it.
adjusted to 15.
Yes.
Yes.
I will watch and see what I am doing.
Not just.
Oh, okay.
So again, as each person comes up, please state your name and address and sign the paper and then begin.
Okay, Buster McCoy, 551 Appleton Road. Commissioners, good to see you. I think what you're going to hear from us over the next little bit, of course, we're opposed. But what you're going to hear is going to hinge on a couple of things. Safety being the primary thing that we're worried about. Liability being another thing that we're concerned with. And something I would like to say, it sounds good to listen to the distances from the runway to the cell tower, but it's a different ball game oftentimes when you're in the air. You know, we think about coming down the road out here and you can turn in here and you can make it within inches. That doesn't happen oftentimes when you're in the air. You can't turn like that. And the other thing about the height and altitude, one of the things that happened to me personally, I got caught in a downdraft years ago. I think I was flying a 172. And I watched my vertical speed indicator just peg. I went down so fast. Only time I ever landed with full throttle, trying to get out of it. Did land safe. But anything with this kind of structure, this kind of rigidity, and you've got something up there like an airplane, which is made out of pretty light stuff anyway, it wouldn't fly. So I think there's always going to be a hazard with having something like this close to the airport. Now, let me say this. The airport authority is not against progress, and we're not against cell towers. We just think this particular cell tower could be a big problem and could certainly be a liability for Meriwether County. That is what we're thinking, and that's what we're looking at. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else come up that will deal with a specific detail. I didn't get into feet, inches, and all that stuff, so I'm going to let somebody else do that, if y'all don't mind. Who wants to be next?
35 seconds.
I'm Mike Watson. I'm chairman of the Airport Authority. I'll keep mine short so everybody else can talk. All of us on the Airport Authority, all 5 of us, are against it, not because it's a cell tower, it's because it's too close to the runway. Our runway is over 5,000 feet long now, and yet this tower is proposed at 3,400 feet or so away from the runway. So it's actually closer than the length of our runway. So with that in mind, like Buster said, if everything goes perfect all the time, 100% of the time, then there's no issue. People can fly within the airport traffic pattern over the tower. But the first time a student pilot who's learning how to fly or something like that does not notice that, then that's where it could be a problem. If somebody has an airport or an airplane problem and they're losing altitude, they've just taken off, the engine's sputtering, and they're trying to make it back to the runway, that could be a problem. We also are in negotiations with a company with helicopters that may be able to use our airport, and they don't necessarily have to come straight in and out of the runway. They can come in and lose altitude and land at their helipad either on either side of the runway. So with that in mind, I'm going to call, we have Jim Stutson, who's retired FAA, and I'll let him have the rest of my time.
Yes, sir.
144.
Some of you know who I am. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Jim Stutson. I live at 85 Overland Farm in Sharpsburg, Georgia. I have an aircraft here at the airfield. I'm a retired FAA safety inspector. I'm a pilot. I'm a former controller, air traffic controller. I also hold an airframe and power plant license. And I also am what's called a designated airworthiness representative for the FAA, in that I issue airworthiness certificates to aircraft. As I look at this tower, it sets right in our downwind of runway 18. You look at the tower at 275 feet tall. Aircraft fly based on mean sea level. That's so that we're all using the same standard. That's our height above sea level. If you take the 275-foot tall tower, you add that to the height of the runway of the airport, which is 860 feet. The tower is now at 1,125 feet MSL. The pattern altitude that we fly at is 1,000 feet above the airfield. If you look at the ultralights, and there are a couple that have flown in here, they're required to fly at 500 feet above the airport. So they're no more than 300 feet from that tower if they're on their downwind. For the towers that exist right now, there is a tower east of the airport that's 7 miles. It's 1,100 feet.
There's a tower 13 miles south. It's also 1,100 feet. And there's a tower 2 miles west. It's also at 1,100 feet. First of all, let me say I'm in favor of a cell tower. I'd love to see better cell coverage out there, and I would encourage the cell tower to be able to be within the area. But as they stated, within the 1 mile radius, if they can move further east, they're increasing our level of safety significantly. They talked about the helicopter operator. Speaking with Doug and the Airport Commission, they're talking about locating on the east side of the airfield and using it as a base to train helicopter operators and these operators that you see with the high-powered lines where they go out and do maintenance. So they're teaching them to hover. They're teaching them how to be close to things. Their approach would be from the east, which is where that tower sits. So that's going to tend to deter that operation from wanting to be there. I look at it when I fly. I start planning my approach and my landing about 5 to 10 miles away. I'm thinking about where I'm going to be, how I'm going to approach that airfield, and what I'm looking for. When I'm on downwind and I'm flying along, I'm not looking directly in front of me and down. I'm looking to my left where the runway is so I can position myself from that runway. I'm focused on that in my entire descent. I started 1,000 feet and I'm descending at 500 feet a minute. In 2 minutes, I'd be well and within the range of that tower. And it takes me a couple, 3 minutes to go ahead and make my full approach, coming all the way around and landing. I look at it from a safety perspective. I was a safety inspector. I know that the FAA, when they look at those things, they're required to look at what the conditions are today. I know that the airport is in the next month going to be making application for instrument approaches to the airfield, which would bring them from both sides of the runway. And with the tower sitting there, what that's going to do is make the minimum descent altitude on an instrument approach well above 1,000 feet. So literally coming out of the clouds, and around here, 700 to 1,000 feet clouds is pretty normal. Coming down from those clouds, they have to see that runway before they get to that minimum descent altitude. If the tower's not there, that approach can now come down to a couple, 300 feet. It's a matter of safety from my perspective. I'm in favor of the cell tower. I would ask the cell tower to move further away. I think it's a benefit to the community, but where it's located, I think, is a serious safety issue. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Phil Eberly with Lead Edge Design Group. Address is 300 Parkbrook Place, Woodstock, Georgia. I'm the president of Lead Edge Design Group. FAA requires every public use airport sponsor, which is the county and the airport authority, to employ planning and engineering firm that's on an FAA pre-approved list. We serve in that role for you guys. We serve in that role all over the state of Georgia. So I've done airport planning using FAA criteria since the 1980s for those old timers in the room. Done projects at 72 of the 103 airports in Georgia. Pilot. Meriwether Airport started in 1932. It's one of the fastest growing airports in Georgia. We have 30 based aircraft. You're now ranked 48 of 103 airports in Georgia. 2/3 of the county have a public use FAA encumbered FAA airport. You have improvements going on. You have growth. We just completed last week the update to your lighting system to install brand new LED lights. Fabulous project. A lot of positive momentum. As has been said, the proposed tower is located about 2/3 of a mile away from the runway. Your runway is a mile long, so it's within a runway length of your runway. Again, to point out, there was a reference to there is criteria that airports in non-populated areas can't fly, airplanes can't fly under 500 feet. The only place in Meriwether County where flying machines descend less than 500 feet is coming to the airport. The tower does meet FAA criteria. This is a very important thing. That is a finding of no hazard. Finding of no hazard. That meets FAA criteria to not be a hazard. In that requirement for this tower is lights that go on the tower. You know what those lights are called? Obstruction lights. They're meant not for people on the ground. They're meant for aviators. If this tower was 10 miles away, it would have the exact same lights on it as a criteria. When you move that tower that close to the runway, it has to have obstruction lights on it. Still, it's meant for planes to avoid it. You've now placed this thing right adjacent to your runway and ask your pilots to avoid it. I think Mike said this as well. Understand that if a pilot has an engine issue, he's losing altitude, he's not in a normal configuration and try and get back to the airport, or a student makes a mistake, the only way that they're going to be able to get safely back to the airport, maybe, is because that tower's not there. So we would suggest, and there was a reference earlier that there's a radius of which this tower can go. This was the only landowner who was willing to sell. Our suggestion, like you've heard before, is you do need to improve communication. That's a helpful thing. You just need to move this tower further away from the airport. And we can assist with some of those, the locating of that if possible. But we would suggest that you move at least 3 miles away from the airport. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that all of the 15 minutes?
No, 3 minutes left.
We have 3 minutes left.
Hey, I'm Hope Macaluso. I'm at 27293 Highway 85 in Meriwether County. I'm the airport manager at Falcon Field in Peachtree City. I've been there 14 years, 5 years at LaGrange Callaway. Prior to that, I've been in the aviation industry for 30 years, and I'm a licensed private pilot. Thank you for letting me address you this evening. I'm going to cut some of this short. The FAA did issue that this has a no hazard to air navigation determination for this tower. That designation only means that the structure meets the FAA's minimum regulatory clearance standards. It does not mean that the tower is without risk. The FAA's evaluation does not account for a lot of local things that happen here, like the helicopter operations, for instance, and your future development. This decision has long-term implications. The presence of a tower could restrict the airport's future development from a lot of the things that Phil, prior to me, mentioned that is planned for the airport. Once a structure of this kind is permitted, it becomes a permanent limitation to the airport's growth and capability. As an airport professional, I've worked in aviation for 3 decades. I can affirm that safety decisions should go well beyond minimum federal requirements. The FAA establishes a baseline, not a ceiling, for aviation safety. Local authorities, like you all, have both the right and the responsibility to set higher standards when your community safety and future economic development is at stake. Allowing the tower to be built at the proposed location sets a troubling precedent for future development near the airport. It would signal, as long as the project meets the minimum federal threshold, local safety and planning concerns can be overlooked. This is not the message we want to send as a county that values aviation, responsible development, and safety. For this reason, I respectfully urge that the Commission deny the approval for the rezoning at this location. Protecting the safety of our pilots, preserving the operational integrity of the airport, and safeguarding the county's long-term interests should remain our highest priorities. You have a multi-million-dollar investment there. No one's going to protect it but you. There are other parcels in the county where the tower can be built. The airport is for everyone in the county, not just a handful of residents. It's a huge economic tool. Don't forget that.
Thank you.
We have a visual. We want to show you this. I was going to get ready to come up. Would you give us about 30, 45 minutes?
45. I don't speak that long. It's only 1 minute, 2 minutes probably. So, they're saying FAA rules and all that in the tower. So I want you to look on this board if you don't understand it, and we can walk it through. So here's the tower. Here's the normal approach for it. The tower's on the inside of the normal approach. This is through here. And you were talking about trees and, you know, I love the Waldells. I mean, they logged my place, but all these trees have already been here at 1.8 and 3.6. We've already cut down a lot of those trees, so it's a safer, so we can get an IFR approach corridor. So now we're working on the trees to the north. Is that correct?
That's
Yeah, we've taken the ones right. So this is your approach. Jump in real quick if you need to. Everyone understand this?
We can think of it. We just hit our time limit, so
Okay,
it's
okay.
just
Last one. All right, done. This is what happens when the tower and the FAA approves things. Okay? The tower never got lit back up, which was a request for several times. FAA never checked on it to get it up. Okay, so what happens? A family of 4 are all dead. And this is what happens when the cell tower goes out. Oh, no one forgets it. Here comes an airplane coming in the land. Next thing you know, it's killed everybody.
Thank y'all. We've already passed the
All
time.
right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank y'all. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, there is a 5-minute rebuttal period per your ordinances, so the applicant can come back up and rebut anything that was presented or previously by the opponents.
I'll be very brief.
Okay.
I don't doubt the good intentions and the importance of the airport to the county or to the individuals involved with it. I just want to point on safety. No one that you heard from tonight said that the FAA's determination was wrong, that the FAA didn't determine that building that tower posed no hazard to air traffic. There was a suggestion that Meriwether County would be liable somehow if something happened with that tower. That's not true. This tower is going to be owned by a private company. The county doesn't own it. And there was talk about the downwind approach, and I'm not an aviation expert, so I probably get the lingo wrong. Those planes are at 1,000 feet. That's what they're supposed to be at. So, the FAA's determination makes a lot more sense when you think that those towers are 775 feet above where this, or planes are going to be 775 feet above where this tower is going to be. You heard from Lindsay Smith that, you know, the FAA takes into account future things. There's a lot of talk about how it could affect future development of the airport. There's no talk to how it will. I think most of what we heard tonight was speculation, and I don't think you should rely on speculation. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
We get a rebuttal on that.
The opponents don't have a rebuttal per ordinance.
All right, so we're now.
Y'all do have the ability to ask questions if y'all, anything that you need to elicit as part of this public hearing that you want to rely upon needs to be asked during the public hearing. So
I do have 2 questions one for the gentleman that worked for the FAA.
Yes, sir.
What is the height of an FAA tower at an airport?
Excuse me?
The height of an air traffic control tower in an airport. What do you know what that is?
They vary. It could be anywhere from a couple hundred feet. I'll use Atlanta as an example. I think that's well over 1,000 feet tall.
Okay. How far away from the runway would it be?
It's located adjacent to the runway. The purpose is to allow the air traffic controllers to have unobstructed view of all taxiways, runways, and everything else. They've got to be able to see those aircraft either on a radar scope or physically to be able to maintain safety.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I have one other question for someone on the airport authority. Whichever one of you would like to do it is you guys mentioned you were in favor of a tower, just wanted it not right there. How far away does the airport authority recommend this tower?
The minimum is 1 mile unobstructed around the airport.
Okay.
So if they went east another half a mile from where they are, then they would be a mile away from the runway. They would be outside the airport traffic pattern.
Thank you, sir.
And even though the FAA says shows no obstruction, and it's legal, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good idea.
Thank you, sir.
And Michael?
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have the question, the rebuttal. We've always given both sides time for rebuttal. It may say it in there, but it's have always been our standard to give both sides a rebuttal.
I thought we
I'll
need.
double check it.
I'm trusting the legal.
Yeah, we've always given both sides. It's usually 10 and 10 or 15.
I misread it earlier. It does say applicants or opponents have 5 minutes for rebuttal. I apologize.
But I'll have a few questions too.
So let's finish. Okay, we'll finish our question.
I think I've got 3 questions. I'm not a pilot. I always wish I would have been, but I probably wouldn't make a good one. So I'm gonna stay on the ground. The runway runs one direction and the tower's over here. And if you're coming in that runway, you can't come in and land sideways, you know, cross there. So I don't understand how. I'm just asking for myself to educate myself. If they're having to approach that runway, they've got to get at one end or the other to come down and land.
Oh,
Wait. I'm asking the question here. I'm trying to understand. Look at this map. Here's a runway. Here's a tower. All right. They can't land across the runway this way. They have to bank and come around one way or the other. So I'm just trying to understand where that's a problem. That's the first one. The second one is if that one tower is going to be a problem for landing stuff, why would y'all even want helicopters out there training? You said they're going to be coming in from this direction and this direction while planes are coming in and out. So I just thought, I don't know if that's a bright idea to have helicopters training there.
If I can address that,
Yes, sir. Please come up.
I'll use visual aid.
I'm just trying to understand.
No, sure, I understand. Proper approach procedure is to enter a 45-degree from the runway. So you enter, as it's shown here, a 45-degree, and you go parallel to the runway on a downwind. Then you make your base leg turn about a mile or 2 out, and then turn final. That allows you to establish a steady, stabilized approach. Maintaining, we talked about 1,000 feet. Maintaining 1,000 feet, I've been as low as 800 and as high as 2,000. Not intentionally, but things happen. It's a very busy time because you're very, very focused on trying to make sure that you're in complete control of that aircraft. That, I think, addresses your question about
the first one.
Okay, as far as the helicopters and fixed wing aircraft don't mix well together. There's downwash. Downwash from a helicopter can upset an aircraft on final or at landing and cause it to have a serious accident. It'll literally lift it up and flip it over. So what you try to do is make sure that your helicopter operators are coming from a side direction because they're very flexible. The helicopter is going to be at 500 feet. He's going to have a helipad not much larger than this room, and he's going to come in and land at that helipad. He's basically not going to be using the runway. So with this gentleman, the operator wants to be able to put on the east side of the airfield. That way he avoids all of the fixed wing aircraft which are on the west side of the airfield. Does that help?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And the only last question I have, and I guess it would be Ms. Hope, since you're from Peachtree City, but there's a taller tower at 665 Highway 74. If you pull it up and look at it, you see Falcon Field here and the towers here. Do you know what that distance is?
Not off the top of my head, but I kind of would like to address several of the questions that you guys have just posed, starting with control towers at airports. We're at the beginning of the design phase of a tower at Falcon Field. It will be no more than 70 feet.
The only question I had, since you run the airport, I'm just asking, do you know what the distance is from the airport runway to that tower on 74?
Of course I don't. I'd have to Google Earth.
To me, it's going to be about the same distance or about a mile.
I'd have to pull that up on Google Earth. I don't know the distance to the tower from my airport there. And as far as helipads, the FAA will build approaches into that helipad that will separate it from fixed wing aircraft. Any other questions?
Anyone left on a question for her while she's in?
I got one question. Do you always have to approach from the east side, or can you approach from the west side? Or
It depends upon the winds. The winds are going to dictate which runway you're going to use. If the winds are from the north, we're gonna approach runway 36. If the winds are coming from the south, we're going to be using runway 28. And typically your pattern is always a left-hand traffic pattern.
But you don't always even have to fly beside the airport before you land, do you? You're supposed to.
You're supposed to, and that's,
I know my brother came in the other Friday and he didn't. I just saw him come over the trees.
and you just ratted him out.
That's right, you can do a straight in approach.
And that's the,
With the instrument, if we ever got an instrument approach.
Yeah.
They're gonna be pretty much straight in runway 36.
Why do we not have an instrument approach out there?
it's expensive equipment, very expensive equipment. And with an instrument approach, there's a missed approach. So if you are coming in, you don't see the runway, there are missed approach procedures that don't take you straight out. There's also a circling approach that make you go out and do a big circle before you come back in. So there's other approaches when you're talking about instrument approaches that are not straight in at all whatsoever.
Because I know he said he had his plane on autopilot and he said it didn't find the runway.
That happens. Not everything goes as planned.
But I mean, it seems like if we spending all that money, we'd have an instrument approach out there.
And we are applying for one, sir. I'm aware they're going to apply next month for this approach. It will take the FAA at least 2 years to establish that.
Yeah.
All right, is there any other questions from the board so we can get to the
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Michael, in 2022, we had a cell phone tower come in M1, and it came to the board of commissioners, and it was said in here, you told us that there had to be a legal reason before we could not unreasonably discriminate against tower providers. And with the Federal Communications Act, if we're going to deny the request, it has to be in writing with substantial evidence. Is what you've heard today, would that fall with that? Because I don't want us to get into the mess where you've cited that.
I plan on giving y'all the standard when this comes up for a vote. I don't get to make decision on the evidence.
You had brought that up before, and so I wanted to make.
I will give you all the standard, and it is very similar to what you just read from previous minutes.
Right.
But that's not my decision
Okay.
to make.
I just wanted to make sure that we all were still remembering the same thing.
All right, any other questions from the board? We do have a 5-minute rebuttal for those opposed, if you'd like to start that now, or I think we covered a lot of it in the question phase. But
Okay, yeah, one more thing.
Something I brought up in the planning and zoning meeting. I have 4 very busy flight schools at Falcon Field. We have literally 290 based aircraft at the airport in Peachtree City. When people call and ask me, do you have any hangar space? The answer is no, we're built out. Or there's no hangar space available, and there's a shortage throughout the state. Normally, I'll recommend that they call Roosevelt Field. Same thing with student pilots. They come down here, they do touch and goes, and they train down here. I will no longer recommend that if I feel there's a safety issue in the area.
thank you. Anyone else? All right, thank you. Any motion to come out of public hearing?
I got one question to her comment then. The pilots, the student pilots that come down here, are they charged a fee from Roosevelt?
No,
Okay.
they are not charged a fee,
That's
but
all.
their operations go toward your total counts, which goes to the state, which goes to the FAA, which gets you funding.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, need a motion to come out of public hearing.
I'll make a motion to come out of public.
Second.
All in favor? Out of public hearing at 7:38. Okay,
Mr. Chair, just to Ms. Nelson's comments a second ago, this is different than a normal public hearing setting. The way the Telecommunications Act is set up is to encourage the building of cell towers. So it does have a requirement that if you're going to deny a cell tower, it has to be based on substantial evidence and it has to be in writing. That writing does have to be essentially contemporaneous, which means within a few days, because it does start a clock for an appeal if they decide to appeal it to the appropriate court. There are some prohibitions, I guess you would put it, as to what you can consider. I don't think we ran into a lot of these today, but generally speaking, you're not allowed to consider the environmental effects of radio frequencies. You're not allowed to consider health concerns based on, a tower emitting some kind of radio frequency, et cetera. Also, generalized aesthetics alone is not going to ever be enough for denying a tower. The intent is to, not have the effect of prohibiting the provision of wireless service. So, just want to make sure that, the board keeps the legal framework in mind. Ultimately, it's the substantial evidence is their basis.
I don't think I how to frame this question. So in your legal opinion, with the evidence that we heard, what is the risk to the county to deny the claim?
Again, I am not going to make a decision whether or not the evidence presented today was substantial, and I don't think that's basically it's not. We will have to defend any decision that y'all reach, and we don't need to be inserting our own opinion into whether or not that, it's an appropriate or not an appropriate decision.
Any other discussion among the board? Well, it is in my district. I did notice I guess I should have asked this question earlier. It says there has to be a FCC license is part of this as well. And I don't see where that's been obtained. It was not presented to us. So, I'm sorry. So we need that information. So
Contained in the application. I recall something
from the FCC.
T-Mobile's license spectrum from the FCC, and that is also in the FAA.
Okay. So in light of that, then I'd like to table this until the next meeting. Do more studies and reach out to more local communities that have the same issue and make sure we make the right decision.
Before you make a motion on that, let me, and Mr. Hahn may double check me on this, but my recollection is that you do have to make a decision within a reasonable time. The FCC rules state that that it's presumptively reasonable if it's made within 150 days of the application. I believe this application was early September, is that correct? So, and that's for a new build. It's 90 days for a co-location.
Okay.
Unless that has changed. And Mr. Hahn, I don't believe that has changed, correct? So I don't think you're running up against any wall on that, but I do want y'all just to be familiar that you can't delay this. You can't delay the decision indefinitely.
Can't keep going.
But the next meeting fits within those parameters. So
Yeah, I think you're only about 60 days out by the next meeting. The application was in September, so.
So I'd like to put it in the form of a motion to table this until the November 10th regular meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Next item is appointments. First one is appointment to the Recreation Advisory Board to fill a 2-year unexpired term. District 3, and the term expires June 30th, 2027. This was tabled from the October 6th.
That's right. And this is my district. And at this time, I'd like to appoint Joe Favors from Woodbury, Georgia.
1 second. Excuse me, sir. The two visuals.
That's
Sir.
Mr. Gray, it's Gray.
Great. Do we have miniature copies of those visuals? Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure we had them for the record.
Okay, thank you.
No favors in it.
I apologize.
Your apology accepted. I'd like to make the appointment to the Recreation Advisory Board to fill a 2-year unexpired term to District 3, Mr. Joe Favors from Woodbury, Georgia.
I'll second it.
All in favor? All right. Next item is approval, appointment to the Meriwether County Airport Authority, District 2. It's a 5-year term that will begin on October 31st, 2025, and expires October 31st, 2030.
We spoke with Mr. Bobby Gordon, and he currently holds this position and has expressed his willingness to continue serving. So I make a motion that we keep him on the Airport Authority for District 2 for the 5-year term. It will expire on October 31st of 2030.
Second. All in favor? Next, new business. Item 1 is discussion on paving Ellis Road, Chisholm Hill.
You have unfinished, Mr. Chairman.
No, sorry. Wait.
You want to borrow my glass?
No, I wasn't using mine. It's been a while. Unfinished business. Item 1, update on no-through truck ordinance. Table from the October 6, 2025 regular meeting.
Commissioners, at the October 6, 2025 regular meeting, the Board of Commissioners tabled a proposed ordinance related to regulating through truck traffic on county maintained roads. As part of the discussion, staff was asked to revisit the matter and return with a list of roads that would be appropriate for restriction under a no-through truck designation. In the ordinance behind this one, there's what I've counted 49 roads that with Public Works help we have identified with no-through truck signs currently posted on them. What you have is a proposed ordinance. If the board, it'll be on the next agenda for board approval, pending legal review. This outlines all the ordinance in ordinance format along with all the 49 roads that staff has identified. I said this was just an update to get the board that we are working towards getting this ordinance in the proper format, bring it back to the board for a vote.
There's no action needed on this tonight.
Correct.
And any questions about this before we move on?
And I'm sure there's some roads out there we're going to double check and just make sure we got them all so we hit them all at one time.
Well, let's make sure we vote on it November 10th.
Yes, sir. Like I said, we got them in the ordinance format. Ms. Stevens working on putting in an ordinance format. We just need to run by legal and make sure it matches with the county ordinances.
And table it on to the 10th.
No, not on this one.
So if we're gonna do that.
So you need a motion to take.
Motion to table is its intent.
So move.
Second, all in favor? New bit of unfinished business. Item 2, approval countywide road pavement assessment, EMC engineering, table from October 6, 2025 regular meeting.
Commissioner, this item was tabled to allow Public Works Director Brian Griffin to present his recommendations regarding the assessment of county roads. You also have in the packet your task order from EMC for the amount of $45,000 to conduct this pavement assessment. I think Brian Griffin is here to speak on his.
So I guess the question is, do we need to pay them guys 45 grand to do this study, or do we need to do it in-house? And there is no reason we cannot do it in-house. The only drawback to the in-house is there's one of me and I have a job to do and I'm doing it well. If you need this done in 2 weeks, there's no way I can get that done. If you have time to get it done mid-January sometime before the LMIG's due in February, then we can do it in-house.
And that's the timeline we were kind of looking for, right?
Yeah, I have to have the LMIG turned in by February 1st.
That's me.
So you would do it mid-January, you could have it to us by mid-January.
I could have it to you by mid-January. And it's just, I can't devote 8 hours a day to riding roads and assessing them. I might get 10 minutes this day, 20 minutes this day, 2 hours that day. Weather has to be good, can't be raining, sun needs to be out. There's certain criteria points that you have to do while you're doing evaluations. But all I would need is a list of every county road
We
with-
had that.
on a spreadsheet. That way I can put length and width, because I'm sure our length is
We have-
short.
Yeah, we have most of that already outlined on the document where we've been using it in the past, so you
Yeah.
can just update.
We'll
the
get
date.
it updated on a spreadsheet
Yep.
in that format.
And then we can do the assessment, check the lengths, check the widths, all that stuff, and give you a fair assessment, but it's just it'll just take me longer than a couple weeks or anything like, whereas if you paid them, they probably have 3 guys come down here for 3 days and then knock it on out. So that's kind of the difference, is how quick of a timetable you need.
Okay.
Sure, I would like to, I interject. I do believe y'all have traditionally or historically also done a work session to make to discuss the roads with the proposal. So you
Right.
may want to build that into your estimated
Yeah.
timeframes.
So because these crowds gonna bring that up, and we would need it not at we would definitely need it no later than the first meeting in January
Perfect.
to be able to plan the work session between then and the second meeting in January.
Because I have to have certain things filled out, and it does take a little bit of time. I can go ahead and pre-do a lot of things, but
And I'm just saying that so to make sure
Yeah.
if we were to go your direction, then that you're comfortable with that time.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah.
We're looking at January 12th, 2026 as the first meeting due to the holidays, and then January 27th for the second meeting.
And in between the 12th and 27th, we'd have to have a work session to review that and decide what we wanted to do.
Yeah, so as long as it was done before the 12th, so that you could have it for the work session, you'll be fine. Yeah, I think we could facilitate that.
Okay.
I would need like a direction for a project list for the application.
Yeah, my major
We don't
concern.
know that till we do the work session.
Right,
Right.
correct.
So,
My major concern is we're sitting here talking about doing an assessment of the roads, and then we move right on down into the next part. We're talking about paving Ellis Road, and then we're talking about purchasing equipment to start paving our own roads. There's only one of you.
Sure.
I just don't want you to.
So the advantage we have on some of this stuff is the fact that it is November. So yes, the documents are gonna be signed tonight, hopefully, that we're gonna incorporate the equipment, but it is November.
You don't pay much in the wintertime.
Correct. You might have a good week where you can do something like we've discussed, making 911 parking lot, ADA compliant, stuff like that. That's a project you can do 3 or 4 days in-house, nice week. But as far as mainline paving, you're looking at the spring. We can patch, we can do little small jobs, but mainline paving, you're not, from here to February, you're limited.
Yeah.
The weather has to be 45 and on the rise.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was sort of thinking you didn't do a whole lot of.
Nah, it's ground temperature, not air temperature. If the ground temperature is 45 degrees and on the rise, the
But we're gonna get to that because that's new business. We still in the old business.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. And the advantage of having it done in-house is that it's done by the same set of eyes. Year after year, it's repeatable. It's the Pacer system, Paces, which what I use and what they would use, what they see and what I see is going to be different. It's up to interpretation, but having to go off somebody else's next year, there's going to be discrepancies. Whether I think it's worse than he did, he thinks it's worse than I did, but if it's done repeatedly by the same person, it does do better long term.
It might be a little variation, not much. If something's tore up, it's tore up.
Correct.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any recommendation from the board or discussion from the board on to do it the same?
Make a motion to allow for the in-house based on the timeframes that Brian brought before us tonight.
Would that also include a rejection of the proposal from EMC?
With a rejection of the proposal from EMC.
I'll second that. The motion second, all in favor? Yeah, message.
It was all of us.
Everybody.
Everybody. Next is new business, item 1, discussion on paving Ellis Road, Chisholm Mill, John Knight, Brandon Larry.
Commissioners, Mr. John Knight and Mr. Brandon Larry of Chisholm Mill Homes has requested to appear before the Board of Commissioners to discuss a proposal to pave the first 2,000 feet of Ellis Road, beginning at Forest Road. The developers are requesting that the Meriwether County Public Works Department perform the work and provide a quote for the project. They have indicated they are willing to pay the county for the paving services. As previously communicated to the applicants, Meriwether County Public Works is not permitted to provide paving or construction services to private developers or individuals for compensation. The department is dedicated solely to maintaining and paving public roads as part of its core responsibilities and does not serve as a contractor or fee-based service provider. If the developers choose to move forward with the paving this portion of Ellis Road, the work must be completed at their own expense using a licensed private contractor. Any construction on a county road must be built to Meriwether County road standards and requires approval by the Board of Commissioners for review and possible acceptance into the county maintained road system. Despite the county's position, the developers have requested to remain on the agenda to present their proposal. I think Mr. Larry is here from Chisholm Mill.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Brandon Larry. My address is 5300 Forest Road, Meriwether County. I am speaking on behalf of Chisholm Mill Homes tonight, and I appreciate the recap, Mr. Gorton. Primarily, the main order of business is that we are seeking approval to pave a 2,000-foot stretch of Ellis Road. So it's where Ellis Road meets Forest Road. We own two tracts of land on both sides of the road. One is 11 acres and the other one is 36 acres. We plan to build some houses on Ellis Road, and we believe that it'll be much better curb appeal for our houses if we go ahead and pave that road. Now, we do have every intention of doing that at our own expense. The Meriwether County involvement was mainly just a thought or an idea. A few weeks back, we met with Matthew, John, and Brian to review and discuss the plans that we have. I'm not sure if you have a copy. I sent it to Mr. Gordon, so hopefully you guys have seen it, but we have already fully engineered the plans to Meriwether County standards. And all of the work that's going to be done will be within the right of way, so we don't have to seek approval from any property owners or anything like that. We plan to improve some of the drainage pipes that are on there, but again, that's all stuff that's been engineered and discussed. And we didn't get a lot of kickback from the small meeting that we had, besides the fact that the interest of county involvement, which again, like the way I imagined it was if the county would be open to using your road department to do the work, give us we would get a proposal from you if you were interested in it, and we would move like that. But again, primarily what I am seeking tonight is approval to pave the 2,000-foot stretch of Ellis Road.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
My opinion on this is if they want to wait 6 months to see if that comes up, they do. But we have miles and miles of road in this county that needs to be addressed. We asking, assessments to be done for priority based on safety conditions, traffic volume. I don't think this road's going to rank very highly in that list.
The dirt road, so.
Absolutely. So, I'm not in favor of that based on that. So
it only be 2,000 feet. The rest of it would remain dirt.
Yes, sir.
Coming and going.
Well, it's one of the starting points of the road. So it wouldn't be like gravel and then a stretch of paved and then gravel again. It's the whole intersection and apron that comes out into Forest Road, and then it would just turn to gravel.
Gotcha.
2,000 feet. Yeah.
Any other comments from the board?
And who would oversee the work being done? Like
Public Works is what he's asking for.
Well, again,
y'all would pay for it and hire someone, but he would oversee and make
saying-
sure it's up to our standards.
Yeah.
I think he's saying that Public Works could put in a bid on it, but if Public Works doesn't bid on it, he may get C.W. Matthews to pay.
Piedmont paving or something.
Piedmont paving to do it. He just wants to permission
Well,
to
I
pave
think-
that part of the road.
It does take y'all's authority to allow someone to work on the roads. There's nothing prohibitive about him securing doing it at his own cost as long, and you can put conditions on it such as, again, it has to be up to safety standards, it has to be up to specifications. One thing you also might want to consider if you're going to approve something along these lines is making sure they have whoever they contract with is willing to provide a performance bond similar to what we require when we're doing roads. So.
Yeah, kind of like the dirt road out here that the landowner, they thought it was closed, they bought the land, we gave them permission to go in there and bring the dirt road up.
When we accepted the dedication of the road back,
Right.
if I recall correctly, but it had to be up to specifications before we accepted it, if I'm recalling that road correctly.
We may not be for 2,000 feet, but anytime we can get something in this county paved and we ain't gotta pay for it, that's.
Of course, it's still a county road, so once it's paved, the upkeep is.
Right. Well, that's reason it needs to be done correctly.
I was I misread, I guess, thinking it was just a request to have Public Works pave that road, so that, my apologies.
I think that was what the original request was, Mr. Mayor. They're saying that they don't need to go through that. They just want permission to pave it, period. Yes. At this point in time.
Good. I'm in favor of that, if they're right.
Essentially, we're paving the road so we can put it on 2-acre lots, not 5-acre lots, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
See,
That's what it gets down to, because it's a dirt road, so instead of using a 5-acre lot, now it's to get it down to a 2-acre lot for a subdivision.
So that's why they're willing to pay for the road to be paved,
Right.
which falls under the ordinance guidelines. If it's a paved road, you can do 2-acre lots. If it's not a paved road, you gotta go 5-acre lots.
But it won't be a complete paved road. It'll be a partial paved road, which is not in that. It would take it out, right, Michael?
I'd have to review our ordinances.
Yeah. If it's partially paved, it would not be no, if it's not a completely paved road, I don't think you can put in a partially paved road and have 2-acre lots in that area. That entire road would have to be,
I think it's.
or you'd have to do two separate
Yeah,
zones.
I think if you're getting to the intent, that's probably correct, because the idea is that you can increase traffic
Right.
on a paved road that's fully paved.
Right.
But I'm not sure your ordinances spell that out
Yeah.
one way or the other.
So how long is that full road? Do we know?
It's when I look at it, it's a little over 7 miles, 7.5 miles, 7.7, somewhere in that, just under 8.
Yeah, Brian, do we have any roads in this county now that are paved so far and then they turn into dirt?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so if somebody came in now on a paved road that turns into dirt and they got land on the paved road area, they would be able to go 2-acre lots, correct? Okay, so it's the same thing. I just didn't know how many roads we had along like that.
There's like the kings when it comes to.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then it back up, okay,
And that pit, see, okay.
yeah, because it makes sense.
So you're right, it's physical, how
Alright,
the
so-
ordinance just detailed out, and I think it shows you can do it.
Two districts are in.
This one is,
Yeah.
well, do you wanna allow, as a board wanna make a motion on allowing them to pave the road or table this or?
I think that we should table it to the next meeting so we can make sure what the ordinance reads, because I wouldn't want to allow them to pave it and then they have to be paving the whole road. I think that we would do better with more information. Could they do what their intention was and pay part and build, or would they have to go to the 5 acres?
This is something that's not come before the board in the 13 years I've been here, so
Right.
I feel better if we
Table
look
it to.
deeper into it.
So that's a motion?
Yes.
And a second.
And a second, all in favor? Okay, we didn't stay at a meeting November 10th.
November
Your
10th.
attention.
Yep.
Next item is
Nathan deserves a long bit.
discussion, approval of execution of loan documents for in-house paving for Public Works.
Commissioners, the fiscal year 25-26 budget included funding for the purchase of road paving equipment utilizing T-SPLOS funds. I've confirmed that with the auditors, and we can use T-SPLOS funds for this lease. Approval has been secured from Republican First National for financing an amount of $820,933.50 to acquire the equipment from Reynolds Warren. The total repayment includes an interest rate of 4.93% APR. That total amount will be $946,278.75 to be paid in 5 annual installments of $189,255.75 beginning next October of 2026. The county attorney has reviewed and approved the contract. A $299 document fee is due at signing, which will be funded through the general fund. Staff recommends approval of the purchase authorization for the chair to sign all related documents and that the funding be allocated from T-Splosh beginning October 28, 2026 through October 28, 2030.
So if we can't begin paving utilizing this equipment till probably March, can we save money by not entering this agreement until February or March? And why, I mean, I don't know what the arrangement is.
It's a lease to own.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lease to own agreement, so it's.
So we initiate the lease in February versus October and save $13,000 a month for 3 months. You're not gonna be using it.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna pay for it either for the first year that we have it, right?
You're still gonna probably pay interest.
No, well, the first interest payments included in October of 2026.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying they're gonna start the interest when you get the equipment.
My fear is normally on equipment, rock, anything like that, there's 2 increases a year. The first one is January of every year, prices of the equipment goes up. And then again in June or July. Prices probably will go up on all the equipment in that time frame. You can wait and hope that they have everything you need and you want to order. If you wait till February, say, hey, I want this stuff. That doesn't mean you're going to get it in March. They might have to build a machine. They might have to move a machine down from another state. So if you start the lease purchase, doesn't mean you're going to get the equipment tomorrow, if that makes sense. Like right now, he has everything on the yard except for a paver and a tack distributor. Now he's going to let me borrow a paver and a tack distributor from their rental fleet until ours gets here so that we can facilitate using the stuff immediately.
So when the weather dries up, if the weather's right, can we start on some of the smaller?
Absolutely.
So we'll be able to start on things before February. That's just when it's consistently going to be.
I'm going to pave 911 just as soon as it gets here.
You're also not wasting a couple of months because as I mentioned, it being a lease to own, if you're going through with all 5 years of the lease to own payment, you're going to own this equipment at the end of those 5 years. So you're going to own it 2 months earlier, but you're going to have it 2 months earlier. That's not going to change really the financial outlook. Yeah, I don't think any year the financial.
The only thing may change is the APR. It could go up or down.
Good. So with the equipment, what is the largest capability of it? What is the largest thing you could do?
How much money you can give me?
No, that's not the answer to my question.
We can pave any county road. Any county road. We can level any county road. We can obviously widen shoulders. We've got a pretty good taste of that here recently with the 2 roads that we've done successfully, actually. Turned out very well. The only thing we can't do is mill patch because we wouldn't have a mill. Right. But as far as leveling, paving, parking lots, cart paths, walkways, county streets.
You said pave 911. Is that where you learn how to run all the equipment stuff?
No, sir. That's going to be to make that building ADA compliant.
Make it what?
ADA compliant.
Disability.
I ain't gonna want a 2 strip, dude.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that
the roads get paved in the parking lot? But I mean, if you pave the 20-foot wide strip to the building, well, if you get the wheelchairs in, that'd be fine. But we just got so many bad roads.
I agree.
Brian, are we going to have to hire more staff to be able to do this on a continuous basis when weather allows?
No, we already approved. We already approved the 3 extra positions we were going to need for the paving crew and the deputy director that I'm going to need, which for like road evaluation type situations, that's going to help me out immensely. So with the staff that we already have incorporated and 3 more positions that we're going to post as soon as all this is approved, we're going to be fine to do it in-house. The only contract cost that we're going to have is probably trucking. You know, we have 3 dump trucks, but we have rock to spread. So we'll be contracting lease trucks to bring the asphalt to us.
So will we be utilizing this on top of additional bill of MIG for outsourcing?
For that one, Commissioner Thurgood, we can actually use LMIG for in-house paving as well if everything goes
Because with the cost of equipment and then the cost of the products that we need to do this, if we're still gonna contract out and continue to do more roads, I would like something more concrete showing that we're not gonna, where we spend X number of millions of dollars a year, we're not gonna spend X number of million additional dollars per year now that we have this equipment.
And to my understanding,
Ourselves on the back end.
yes, sir. To my understanding of the law in LMIG, as long as it's dedicated to the roads, either in-house or contracting, the 30% match, we should qualify. And I can run that by the auditors to double check.
And you presented to us that in-house paving with the lease payments
Mm-hmm.
was 70% of the cost we're getting right now.
Yes.
You could pave at a 30% savings of the
Yes.
cost we're getting today on the lease.
Correct. And in other counties, the LMIG money has been used for in-house paving. That's 800,000-ish a year here. If we threw our own 800 at it, we'd get a lot of roads paved in-house versus 7 or 8 miles with a contractor for the same amount. That's where we're at.
I believe if I remember right, you said you could do about easily 10 miles a year you could commit to, and it would cost us about $800,000 in asphalt and contract.
And that's kind of what we're thinking is if we do LMIG and 800 of our own, we should be up around 18, 19, 20 miles a year, which is.
So you're putting in 50% instead of the 30, so you put in more than 30%.
But it was, at the time, it was just it was data he gave us as a comparison to, and to Commissioner Thurgill's point, that we could say, we don't want to do the contract work, we want to do it all internally, and then we don't spend as much, and he does more than 10 miles, but we get more bang for the buck. But we were asking those questions thinking we got so many bad roads, maybe he can do 10 next year with this equipment and that for that cost, and we still get 7 or 8 with the other one. And then after that, we analyze what's the best plan forward. Get a lot of miles done, but
that's right. And this equipment allows for paving of new dirt roads.
Yes.
And also resurface.
Yes.
Okay.
The process is the same, whether it's paved or gravel. You got to have a good base, and then it's just the different depths.
Michael, you reviewed this contract. How binding is this contract?
So Georgia law on multi-year leases does allow you to do it. You're only bound for 1 year's worth of budget. So basically they have to include language that gives you an out every fiscal year.
Gives you an out.
Right. So, I mean, they're going to take their equipment back.
Yeah.
It's going to be secured.
Yeah.
But it only binds the board for a 1 year period, 1 year fiscal period.
What percentage are we getting on those GEAP accounts?
They're roughly close to 5%.
So roughly the same.
Yeah, about some.
Close to it. And I can speed out on Harris County. I spoke with the Harris County manager, Clark Harrell, and he told me with their equipment, they were doing the same thing before Brian came here, that they returned all their equipment because they couldn't afford it. So there isn't, like Michael said, there's an out every year in the contract.
And that's because the way Georgia law is set up, one board is not specifically allowed, with some exceptions, to bind further boards financially. Every board's responsible for their own budget. So that's the way that they know that practically speaking, that doesn't make sense. So you have to be able to combine those two, the practicality with control over every individual budget.
So it looks like we're getting 700,000 a year interest roughly on those accounts right now.
Correct. That's in the general fund. And then if you add them all up, it's roughly around that amount. And we only expect it to go higher with.
Would we get a cheaper rate if we bought it outright?
Well, you wouldn't pay any interest.
Yeah, but would they come down on the price of it? I'm just trying to think of what we're getting in interest every year. It is a good interest rate, but might be better just to buy it outright.
Yeah. Just verify he knows what he's doing.
I say it. I mean, it's an option. Like I said,
And there is I think it's, because every year you're allowed a buyout.
Yeah, there's
find
a
it in the
scale
contract.
But at least, like Emmett was saying, the lease may provide that warrant for the entire period of the lease, or does it?
well, each piece of equipment has a 3 year.
Okay.
unlimited warranty. And then after that, like I said, it's more of the relationship with the vendor. They're gonna send a tech down here if I need them to send a tech down here.
If we're gonna lease something, we probably need to look at extended warranty for the full period of the lease instead of allowing the just standard 3 year on there, because I don't want to pay somebody for something that they can't do anymore with.
Well, in my opinion, most of the, warranties are like, if it's 3 year warranty, before that warranty runs out, you can add an extended warranty.
We need to know what that costs up front. I think Brian, Commissioner 3 is right. We need to cover the warranty the entire time, and then is there a maintenance program that we can enter in with them where they come and service the units at intervals that maintains and validates that warranty?
We can add to it. It'll adjust the price, I'm sure, of the contract, and we'll have to redo all the contracts and the terms and when it starts and when it stops and redo everything, but I'm sure we can.
Did you not get it separated? So
We could pay it out of T-Splosh separately or general fund if we wanted to extend the warranty.
Just need to know if they will allow at the 3 year point of the original expiration of the warranty, will they allow us at that point or months before do the extension? If so, what's that cost? Or can we buy the extended warranty at the beginning for the full period of the lease? And what does that cost?
So you'll be adding 3 more years to your lease because we're not paying for it for the first year. So that first year, so our 6th year will be the $1 buyout at the end of the lease purchase. So if you're going to carry it the whole time, you're going to have to carry it that one additional year at the end that we're not paying for it up front. Then at the end of that year, you'll pay $1. So you'll be looking at 3 years of extended warranty for all 8 pieces of equipment.
Somebody's getting screwed. We may not be paying for it, but I think like Emmett said, the interest is accumulated on a monthly basis. It has to. There's no way they're going to give you a year free. So we're looking at 6 years of interest on this amount of money instead of a 5 year. So it may be better just to go ahead and not worry about the free year, do a 5 year lease, start paying it in the beginning, because if not, you're really paying 6 years of interest on this by the time you're done. And at $13,000 a month, that's a good deal.
Yeah, yeah, probably 35% of that's interest or more in the first year.
Yeah.
50% of it's interest in the first year.
Page 86 is your amortization schedule. You got no early option buyout in the first year. Your second year, you got a buyout of 522, 324.50. But the annual payment is about 1 and maybe a quarter of the allocation from
It's a
T-Splosh.
5 year lease, a 5 year contract, but a 6 year period, because they say the first year is free, but it's really not. All the interest for that 12 months is accumulated in that 5 year period of payment.
Yeah. Total interest is 125, 345,
So they're
25.
giving you a year, make it look good, but you really get the interest.
No payment.
You're getting 12 months of interest on top of it that's put into the 5 years of payment.
I think what it is, technically, you should probably look at it as a balloon payment. It's not
Yeah.
a balloon payment. So you're paying each year instead of doing it over the period of time, you're paying it, at the.
It is a balloon, but you still have 1 year it's a 6 year period, 5 years of
First one
payment.
is next year on 28.
Okay.
27.
Okay.
Not 2027, it's 2026. So it's at the end of the first 12 months, you pay your first balloon.
And at the end of the
next
24 or
12 months.
36, okay.
Correct.
Okay,
So it's not necessarily that you're getting the first year
gotcha.
free, it's just that year's worth of interest on that balloon payment.
Thank you. That's what I need.
I'm not a finance guy. I don't.
I'm not in a balloon payment.
Yeah.
That's more of a house mortgage type deal. Didn't study that in business school.
So that answered my question. I think the only thing we need to know now is just the extended warranty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's $125,000 in interest on the done, and that's about $2,500 a month in interest, but that comes out of the first year for that. Yeah. Okay, so you guys are asking for approval to enter this agreement today.
Right, because the bank changed the commencement date to 10/28 because of the meeting today. They originally had it for, I think it was like 10/9 or 10/10, and I asked them to change it, the signage date to the day.
Any more discussion among the board about this item? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the staff recommendation to enter into in-house paving equipment lease. Do I need to put a stipulation in to get for the extended warranty or?
Check the price and bring it back.
Because
that'll be
be
coming.
approval item later anyway to find out the same account. So if y'all want that in there, I'll put that in there, but the motion still stands as I'm in favor of approval to move forward with staff recommendation.
So is the motion to
Boss.
condition it on the extra warranty or to
Mine is not, no.
instruct them to bring back any
Investigate.
additional warranty?
My motion is to approve it as is and to instruct them to investigate getting additional warranty coverage for the entirety of the lease.
Second that.
Okay, all in favor? Was you in favor?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. Sorry, okay. Next is you don't have to go anywhere, do you, Brian? Approval of the purchase of a dump truck for public works with funding that come from T-Splosh.
Commissioners, Director Griffin is here. He's got a quote from United Rentals for a 2020 10 to 14 yard dump truck with 18,184 miles on it for the purchase amount of $95,194.45. This falls under a statewide contract and in accordance with our county purchasing ordinances, it does not require competitive bids. Funding will be from T-Splosh.
Didn't we just buy a dump truck?
About 2 years ago or a year ago.
We bought a
No.
a tractor. To pull us.
Well, we got a dump truck too, because one was red.
Yeah.
And we replaced it.
Yeah, we had I think it was a tandem.
It's like months ago.
But I mean, I think we bought a truck to pull the lowboy with, didn't
No, not since I've been.
we? No, but
Bought a Mack and a chassis in 2023. A Mack truck in 2023 in January.
That would have been a low boy.
I hope I'm not thinking that was recent, but it could be more, okay. All right.
Is this a dump truck that we have leased?
No.
Don't we have some leased from somebody? We don't. We used to, I think.
Yeah, no, the three that we have are ours. The last one that was purchased was a used Freightliner. I think y'all paid 110 for.
Well, I notice every time I go out there, these old Ford F-800 or something sitting over there, single axle, parked, never moved,
It's on the auction list.
auction list.
It's out of service.
Okay.
How many employees we have with CDL license to drive the dump truck?
How many?
They all have CDL license, they can drive the dump truck.
Oh yeah, the ones we have on staff.
He even drives them.
Huh?
Brian drives them.
Oh.
I make a motion, we approve the purchase of a dump truck for public works. Based on staff.
The T-Splosh is the funding.
T-Splosh is funded.
Second.
Have a motion.
There's only one on there.
Second. All in favor?
I got a question, so I may have missed it. Back on number 2, did we include for the chair side?
No, we didn't.
No, they're not.
Can I amend my motion to include the chair to sign?
Still second.
Okay.
Chair,
All still in
chair,
favor?
There's a lot of documents on that one.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
No, I'm not done yet.
Sorry.
Sorry.
He's got one more.
Okay. So what now?
Brian Griffin's got one
I'm not
more.
done yet. Yeah, I'm not done.
Come on, man. All right, next item is consideration of approval of a work truck, Public Works.
Commissioners, Director Griffin's got 2 state contract quotes, and I apologize because these are 2 separate items
They
that
are.
Brian wanted. 2023 Ram 1500 with 19,318 miles from Butler Chevrolet for 44,923, and a 2024 Ram 3500 with 28,299 miles from Jimmy Britt for 59,953. The first one will be funded from SPLOST. The 3,500 I got word just now from the auditors that would qualify as a T-SPLOST funding because it would be utilized for pulling equipment strictly on transportation. So he did confirm the 3,500 could be used T-SPLOST funding for that.
3,500.
Yes. And I apologize for that. It was 2 different vehicles.
That's not pulling the patches.
It's to pull the hot box and also the skid steer for the paving area.
And the 1500s, I thought we was getting them from sheriff.
We want to open that up now?
What's that?
We're gonna have
Well,
to do it later.
I mean, we
So-
can buy them some more.
So we inherited, or we're given 2 trucks from the sheriff's office, Ram 1500 4 doors. The first came, it didn't have any interior in the back. They said they found the interior because they had a dog box in the back. It's a pretty good truck. Once the interior gets back in, it's got about 150,000 miles on it. And I think it's roadworthy. The second has 256,000 miles on it, and it's going to need 6 to 7 grand to be on the road, not to mention the paint job.
Now, which ones are these?
Sheriff's office trucks.
Well, you only supposed to get one.
Well, that's what I mean. There's 2 choices, one for me and one for Cassandra, and one of them's pretty good truck.
Yeah, but we gotta buy them 4 more. I mean, they requested 6.
They got another one, there's here recently, it'll be stripped, ready to do, they'll have 3 totals.
I've only seen 2 at our shop that have been brought to us.
Mr. Headley told me there was the third one coming up, they were stripping it. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. I
The
just
county's only paid for 2. I don't know if they did a third one that may have been paid from the sheriff's office. I'll check with Chief
I
Allen on
mean, he
that.
requested 4.
Six.
Correct.
When he came out.
Correct. We got 2 in the last budget year.
The fiction approved, we're supposed to be approving 2 more, I
They
thought.
requested 6 total.
Correct.
Yeah, we paid for 2 in last
Right.
year's budget.
Right, and then 2 more, and 2 more.
Yeah.
How many work trucks do you have? I see quite a few throughout the county, that's one thing.
Bunch of them.
Sure, but a lot of the problems we have is they're regular cabs, 2-seaters, 2 people. As we grow as a department, we add 3 more positions for the paving crew, for instance. So you're going to have 8 to 10 guys going out for the paving operations every single day. Takes a lot of single cab trucks to get 8 or 10 people to the paving job. We need more crew cab trucks, 4 people per truck. The paving crew alone is going to need 3 trucks.
But I mean, every one of the.
You need vans.
Crew cab.
So let me ask you, you have 10 people going out paving, you can get 4 per truck, that's
Sure.
4 trucks going out there.
Sure.
Do those trucks adhere the other traffic that's coming through, or would it be more beneficial to get something like a bus that could take the crews out to these sites? Take less clutter of the road,
Yeah, we normally will be using our trucks as part of the flagging operation with the lights on to control the traffic. So we'll actually need the trucks there to help control the traffic. We'll have a flagging station at each end, and you want them to have a truck with lights. You got water coolers, other coolers that are going to be lunches. All that stuff has to be kept up with throughout the day, and we need somewhere to put it. You may even have to run in a pilot truck on a real busy road. So then you need 3 trucks in operations all day, or you could be pulling the skid steer there.
so we've already spent 1.5 million a night on public works.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 3,500, is that a single axle or dual axle?
Dual. Flatbed, dual,
Flatbed?
4-wheel drive. We're pulling it now with a gas burner F-250, and I just put $1,800 worth of brakes on it for the second time since I've been here trying to stop it.
Trying to stop what?
That hot box.
Hot
Does
box
it
don't
have
have
brakes
brakes
on
on
it too?
Yeah, it does. But it's got 8 tons of asphalt in, or yeah.
Thought it was 4 tons.
It is 8,000 pounds of asphalt plus the box itself. That's a lot for that 250 to handle, coming all the way from Noonan every day. It's just not safe.
Is there an urgent need for these trucks today? Or is this something you need as we move forward in all the other projects?
Both.
Both.
Prices are today's prices. We didn't just go out and pick the highest priced ones.
Oh, no,
I spent plenty of time trying to find the best deal on these trucks, and there's no guarantee they'll be there tomorrow. Hiring 3 people, it could take 1 day or it could take 3 months. I mean,
Right.
It just really depends on who applies for the job. But we do have some regular cab F-150s where the year model begins with a 1 still.
Well, I think that we need to still stay focused and try to get those sheriff trucks out there, cause there's a bunch of them up there. So I say that we hold off on the 1,500, but I'll make a motion to approve the F-350. I mean, the Dodge Ram 350, purchase the Ram, one truck with 350. With what funds?
T-Splosh,
T-Splosh,
Dodge 35.
3,500.
3,500.
I'll second.
Yes, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed?
And originally during the budgetary process, I asked for $200,000 for pickup trucks. I will be asking for 3 more trucks on addition to the F-150 or the 1,500 you denied. We're looking at 3 Ford Mavericks, 4 doors. That cost will be about 100,000 for all 3 of them.
What are you gonna use those for?
Transport.
They're small. You barely get 2 grown men in one truck.
Maverick. And they're gonna be for 2-man crews. They're gonna be.
Sure, single cab.
Ma'am?
Use the
Sir?
same van, single cab.
Yes. You could, but a single cab F-150 costs more than a 4-door
You know,
Maverick.
school buses coming out of. County school board got these school buses they need to get rid of. We can just haul the employees out around on that bus.
So when you come to the next meeting, will you bring us a list of all your pickup trucks and the mileage on
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
I think we need that county-wide. We need to have maintenance records, where they're at, how they're running, the mileage on them, the years on them. We need to be able to look at this and see where we're at.
Same as we need the road assessment, we need that for countywide on vehicle.
Yes.
It was something I started on the finance director and something I'll be
And just
passing on
gonna
to the
throw this
finance
out,
director.
the 1,500
Yes.
was gonna be for me because it has navigations and Bluetooth. My truck does not. And I saved you $45,000 on road assessments. That truck's 44 grand. Just throwing it out there. Y'all good night.
Yes, sir.
And we do have a fixed asset schedule. Finance director Tammy has that, and that was something I started on, and we're going to complete that because we need to identify every vehicle in the county with some kind of
More than that. I have
serial
the
number.
Insurance list every year. When I do the insurance renewal, we have all the vehicles listed because I have to have that property and the dams.
Even our fuel cars, we can get the mileage like
We
that.
have Yeah, right. I mean, they can be listed and we just need to know what shape they're in, how much work maintenance we're having to do on them.
I can go around and do it.
And they should be in the public works iWork system as well for schedule maintenance and that.
I'm holding mine.
Yeah.
All right. Next item. Approval to allow participant loans from 418 and 457 retirement plans and authorize plan administrator to assign amendments.
Commissioners, Empower has provided the necessary documentation for the staff to begin offering employee loans to the 401A and the 457B retirement plans. Staff requests approval to proceed and to authorize the plan administrators, which included myself and County Clerk Allison Stevens, to sign the required paperwork to initiate this process. The loan structure will be as followed. The number of loans employees may have no more than 2 active loans from each plan. They must be 100% vested in the 401A plan as the county's match. The 457B is solely their employee contribution. They can borrow up to 50% of that amount automatically. Repayment, employees will be able to repay these loans through payroll deductions. The loan terms will be adhere to the limits and parameters established in the plan's loan policy. That's behind you on that next pages of the documents. And we will educate the staff on borrowing the money, that if you leave and you owe $5,000, you will be W-2 for that money. You hit with a penalty on interest, and we'll go through all that with every respective borrower if the board allows loans to be taken out on the 401A and 457B plan.
Is this something that, see, she left. Is this something that is just we're doing, trying to provide better opportunities and benefits for our staff?
Correct.
Or is this driven from employees pushing this request?
I've had a couple of employees ask with the 40-hour vacation sellback that they need a little extra money for air conditioning, something like that. And this was something that we talked about in the work session of doing this to offer a benefit that probably neighboring counties can't offer. That way we can't compete with the high salaries, but we can offer something else to our employees.
Right now, the only option is a hardship loan,
Right.
and they're very strict on the guidelines for those.
We
Yeah.
discussed this in a work session or a budgetary thing, but
Correct.
we didn't discuss it and approve.
I thought we discussed something like they could buy back.
Yeah, the PTO.
Vacation, we did that. Yeah,
Vacation.
that's already, we did that a couple months
It's just
ago.
something
Correct.
like.
That's already in place.
Yeah, this is
their
just their
retirement,
retirement account. They can borrow against it to,
Yeah.
buy a car, help kids with college, buy a house, down payment, whatever. And
And pay
And-
yourself back
yourself
with
back.
interest.
Yeah, they'll be paying themselves back. There is no, it would not run through me or Ms. Stevens on what you can borrow for. You can borrow it for whatever. There's no parameters set. There's no guidelines. There's no, hey, I need it for, it's your money. You should be able to spend it and use it the way you do. We just want to educate you financially from a finance aspect. If you don't pay it back, you're going to pay a penalty.
10% penalty plus it added to your W-2 for the month.
Correct. And I've been down that route and that's not a pleasant tax rate.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve as recommended by staff.
I'll second.
All in favor?
You need to add on that to authorize the plan administrator to sign.
Then authorize plan administrators to sign.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, confirmation of the 2025 ACCG safety discount verification form.
Commissioners, the county is required to submit the 2025 ACCG Safety Discount Verification Form to receive a discount on its property and liability insurance coverage through ACCG's Interlocal Risk Management Agency, or IRMA. The form confirms that the county is actively following its approved safety program. The form must be signed by the county's designated safety coordinator and an authorized official, which would, John is the safety coordinator, and it would require Chairman Worsley to sign. Supporting documentation such as safety meeting records or training logs also may be required, which we just went through our safety audit a couple of weeks ago and we passed. Everything was good. We had everything in our book that we needed. If the form's not submitted and confirmed by ACCG by the required deadline, the county may lose eligibility for the discount, and that could result in a higher insurance premium. It's recommended that the county confirm the 25 form and has been submitted, that ACCG has received it, and that a copy of the completed form is kept on file. This ensures the county receives the discount, stays in good standing with the safety program requirements. So we just need a vote to confirm that that safety form has been signed and submitted to ACCG.
I make a motion.
Well,
Allow chairman to sign.
Chair and safety coordinator. So, what you read?
Yes, it's already been
it's already
signed
been
and
signed, but we have to do the confirmation.
Yeah. Confirmation and signature by the county, the safety coordinator and the chair.
I recommend that the county confirm that the 2025 form has been submitted, the ACCG has received it, and a copy of the completed form is on file, and that the chairman signs.
And
Safety coordinator.
Safety coordinators.
I'll say.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Next is approval of people restoration emergency response plan agreement.
Commissioner Legal has reviewed and approved the emergency response plan agreement as written. This agreement authorizes Meriwether County to engage PINCO under professional services as needed in an event of disaster and emergency. PINCO will provide damage mitigation and restoration services to return affected properties to a safe and habitable condition. Staff recommends approval and allows the chairman to sign the emergency response plan agreement. This is just in case of a pipe bust or water line, anything major. We have someone on standby ready to go.
Make a motion to approve and allow the chairman to sign.
Second.
All in favor? Next item is rescind the motion made during the September 23rd, 2025 regular meeting to declare a 2-acre tract on Harmony Church Road for sale for $10,000 per acre.
Commissioner, this was on the September 23rd, 2025 meeting where the commissioners made a motion to approve the sale of this land for $10,000 an acre. After the airport met on Monday, October 13th, 2025, it was discussed that the tract of land would not satisfy FFA regulations. The airport authority would contact the prospective buyer to determine their interest in purchasing property at a rate of $10,000 per acre. If the buyer expresses interest, staff will present a newly proposed tract of land to the Board of Commissioners for consideration. So since this is in the way of the airport, we would like for the board to rescind that motion to approve the sale of that land.
Any discussion among the board? Not, I'll make a motion to rescind the motion made during September 23rd, 2025 regular meeting on the 2-acre tract of Harmony Church Road, $10,000 per acre.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, next is update bank signers to include the finance director. As per Meriwether County Ordinance Article 2, Section 2-36, Section 2-37.
Commissioners, Finance Director Tammy Lackey has completed her 90-day probational period following a favorable performance evaluation. In accordance with the county ordinances, Article 2, Sections 2-36 and 2-37, the Finance Director is required to be an authorized signer on all bank accounts owned by the county. The authorized signers on all bank accounts held at First People Bank, United Bank, Colony Bank, and FMN Bank will be the County Administrator John Gordon, Finance Director Tammy Lackey, Chairman Adam Worsley, Vice Chairman Emmett Collins, and County Clerk Allison Stevens.
We gotta re-sign all this tonight.
3 of the 4 banks, I got all the paperwork.
You might have to table this, but no.
So I make a motion for it to be tonight. No.
I'll make a motion to approve the full staff recommendation with just the financial assignments.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
You're ready to start signing.
Consideration of increasing the county administrator's purchasing per Meriwether County Ordinance Article 2, Section 2-36.
Commissioners, under County Ordinances, Article 2, Section 2-36, the Board of Commissioners to include a determination from time to time of any maximum limitation on the amount the county administrator is authorized to spend for the purchase of any item or service by the county without consent of the duly qualified members of the board. The current limit is set at $5,000, the same as the finance director. Given the rising cost of goods and services and increasing expenses associated with completing projects, I'm requesting the board's consideration to raise the county administrator's spending limit to $15,000. This adjustment would help expedite project completion and improve operational efficiency.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Any discussion among the board? If not, I make a motion to approve the request to increase the county administration's spending limit to $15,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item is approval of internet service agreement. Kudzu for the Meriwether County radio equipment on Forest Road Tower.
Commissioners, IT Director Matthew Brown is here to discuss this one. Legal has reviewed the agreement and Kudzu has accepted all changes. And I'll let Matthew speak on it with this with the Forest Road Tower.
With the new radios we're getting in, and able to make everything communicate correctly, we need fiber internet connections at multiple different sites throughout the county. This Forest Road Tower is the first one that's getting turned on with the equipment that we need a connection to. Out of the options that we have, this Kudzu is the only good and only option that will actually work, because of requirements from the companies. It's $500 a month, but that'll get connectivity from all the stuff at the Forest Road Tower back to 911. So,
And they did agree to the 1-year automatic renewal that legal recommended.
I don't want to drag this out, but I thought we said no to Kudzu because of the internet contract with someone else.
yeah, so this is something, this is completely separate from that other issue.
We said no to Kudzu about changing from
The-
Kudzu.
This
Yeah.
is the tower across from
Service
mine.
here, but this is talking about something out there on that tower.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
but it says approval of internet service agreement. So the current provider we have.
We don't have spectrum at that. We have no internet connectivity at that site now.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Forest Road.
No, that one's not. Allison got a new one.
So staff recommends approval pending legal acceptance of the agreement and allow the chair, vice chair to decide what's approved by legal.
I make a motion.
And we do have the updated one with legal changes.
Second. So all in favor? Okay, next is approval of
You wanna talk about that one
2023
else?
semi-annual invoice, Georgia First Responder PTSD Program, ACCG.
Commissioners, the county participates in the ACCG Irma First Responder PTSD program, which provides required insurance coverage for first responders under Georgia law. The coverage is mandated by House Bill 451 and 23, known as the Ashley Wilson Act, which requires counties and municipalities to provide PTSD benefits to eligible public safety personnel. The county has received the 2026 semi-annual invoice for coverage from January 1, 26 through June 30th, 26. The invoice total was $10,099 based on 143 covered first responders. This includes both the lump sum PTSD diagnosis benefit and the PTSD disability benefit. Payments due upon receipt to ensure continued coverage. If payments not made within 30 days, the coverage could be canceled. It's recommended that the board approve payment of the semi-annual premium as invoiced.
And this is a budgeted line item out of the general fund.
Second.
All in favor? Right, the report from county administrator.
I'll make it quick, commissioners. I met with Manchester City Manager Mark Pulliam over at IGA with Animal Services to try to get some clarity on that. We are owed about $1,000 for fees that they have collected for animals. We had 6 RFPs come in for the insurance brokers. You heard from the top 2 finalists from the staff, from the committee. We have interviewed for the accountant position. We are still currently interviewing for that. Want to give a update on the covered bridge. There was an incident that occurred at that location. The cameras were determined to be malfunctioning. Some brush was in the way. IT Director Matthew Brown has went out there and replaced the cameras. They should be up and running with the feed. We're going to have that monitored through probably my cell phone, my computer, and through Matthew's cell phone computer as well. So if no incidents, we have the backup documentation for it. Met with the construction manager at the courthouse on October 15th. They looked at the roof, the 3rd floor. They came back on the 24th for additional view of everything. I will reach back out to them to see what they have a timeline when they may be able to have a date to get started or come to a guaranteed price. LMIG, we got word that they will begin mid-December with CW Matthews. Got confirmation from the auditors from the DOA. We're out of compliance on 3 items. 2 of them are financial statement notes from the auditors. They're going to correct that. One is an action plan to balance a fund. We're working on getting that approved. That's the sheriff's drug forfeiture account. Once I turn those in, that audit will be complete. We'll be in compliance. Work with staff with the no truck ordinances. We'll have that ready for you at the next meeting. Met with the Harris County Manager Clark Harrell. Starting to build a relationship with that neighboring county. They have a lot of resources going on, trying to get some inside look at 911, the infrastructure on their radios, how they're running everything over there, and how we can incorporate and communicate. Safety inspection, as Ms. Stevens stated, we passed. We're still eligible for a discount. And I attended the water sewer meeting, the rec advisory meeting, the Lake Meriwether meeting, and the airport meeting. So I've been pretty busy over the past 3 weeks since the last meeting, mainly working on a truck ordinance and trying to get that brought to you.
And you brought up about the covered bridge when you called me the other day about it. And Emmett Collins had a good suggestion. I don't know why we couldn't do this. Why, that's more of a historic area than it is a cut through road. I mean, why couldn't we make that beam out front, go over there and check it? And he was suggesting like take a F-250 and close the mirrors and then give it just enough room for that to clear. And then basically people that are touring, going down our cars, they can go down there and look at it and walk around and so forth and come back out. But if you can't fit through there, you have to go around.
Well, I rode through there and I folded my windows in on my 2500 and I had a foot on each side when I folded my mirrors in.
Right.
I had 1 foot. So if you close it up 6 inches on either side and mark it, but you're going to have I think you need a gate on one side that's locked that the fire department needs a key to in case the bridge were to catch on fire, they can get to it.
Well, yeah, that would make sense.
But you could close it up 6 inches on either side and truck like a 2500 could get through there, but it would probably stop a dually.
Because this person obviously went through that
Yes, sir. It looks like it was a
They said they were gonna
trailer.
Drive, and then they
Yeah.
tore the rail off when they got up in there. So sooner or later, someone's gonna damage the bridge really bad.
Yeah, if that rail wasn't there, it looked like it may have took out a support beam. So luckily that rail was there and you can see scuff marks where a trailer, something wider hit that side of the
They had
bridge.
to hang up on it, just snatch it, cause it bent that piece of angle line almost like a eel.
Yeah.
So we can add this to another meeting and discuss how we want to protect that green.
Yeah, I was just asking the question, could we
No,
consider
we need to.
making it smaller where the average vehicle,
We'll put on next
car
agenda
goes
item.
through it, but we just gonna keep dualies and trailers and stuff like that out of there.
Got it, Mark.
Okay.
Report from county commissioners. Commissioner Smith.
Recreation football is going great. It's the season's winding down. They're getting ready for their championship games. Basketball registration's going on right now. So for those who need to get their registration, their children registered for basketball. I went to the David Meriwether marker unveiling the other Sunday, and that was great. People really enjoyed coming out there, and it was really neat to see that for the first time. And today is National First Responders Day. So I want to thank all of our county first responders for all that they do. Our sheriff's department, our police departments, our fire and EMS.
Mr. King.
I'll second that on all the EMS. Appreciate what they do, and that's all I've got to.
Commissioner Threadgill.
I don't have anything. I think we talked a lot tonight.
Commissioner Collins.
I just want to thank all the staff and employees and the first responders and all the police force, everybody that works for Meriwether County. Thank you. That's it.
I'll take it third, fourth, whatever. Thank you for what they do. All the first responders, and that's a hard job and a thankless job. So thank you. Report from county attorney.
No report from me. I've also talked a lot tonight.
Future meetings and notices. So Monday, October 10th, 2025, regular meeting at 6 p.m. We'll be closing observance of Veterans Day on Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, the regular meeting at 6 p.m. Closing observance of Thanksgiving on Thursday, November 27th, and Friday, November 28th, 2025. If you have a need for executive session,
We do for litigation and personnel.
need a motion to cover all four.
So maybe motion to go into executive session for litigation personnel.
Real estate.
Real estate.
And you made a second, Brian?
Yeah.
All in favor? Executive session 8:51.
Regular session, second. All in favor? 9:26.
Commissioners, I need to request an extended leave for a public works employee. He was granted one leave, and this is an extension of an unpaid leave.
Second. All in favor?
Also, we need to retain special counsel for litigation.
Make a motion to allow.
All
All in favor?
And that's all I have.
Right.
Let's make it adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
So, second.
in favor? 9:26.